Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of the Grand Champions Festival. I am joined once again by our lovely panel of judges. We got Canned Wolf Meat,
How's it going, everybody?
Sir Toasty Toes,
Hello.
and the man who needs no introduction, Professor Rex himself. Hi. Today we are going to be reviewing our remaining 28 submissions for the best dressed team competition. By hand, I went through about 180 last night, tried to filter down to teams of Pokemon that are still definitely in the running for our final spots. So, Morgan, why don't we just jump right into it? We got Mango Pickle here. Could you, or sorry, Mango Pick. Yeah, that's how you spell pickle. Mango
Yeah,
Pickle.
that's
Could we possibly get a team introduction?
All right, so for this one, we have very brief team overview. 2014 Reborn. So they're going for a very classic-inspired team here, with a Rue, the formerly buff Kangaskhan, Shayla the Tree Master Garchomp, Tashigi, the gorgeous Royal Aegislash, Coop, the tried and true Talonflame, Stake, the Shining Star Rotom Wash, and Andy, the former Alpha Sneasler. So one Pokemon that sticks out here is not from X and Y era, but otherwise this does seem like actually it might be an original BGC team. So I am seeing that the first 5 are actually originating from X and Y.
Yeah,
It's
so
very
this
interesting.
is one of the reasons I kind of picked this team out, was that even though we aren't seeing like the full team of 6 shinies or anything, we do have a lot of shinies on this team. And these are Pokemon that this player has had since around 2014. These are Pokemon that they've like hit top 4 in events with, Pokemon that they got together with their best friends. Like if we look at this Kangaskhan, biggest note here is that they bred this like nearly perfect competitive Kangaskhan after watching a Aaron Cybertron Zeng video, which is, that's kind of crazy to think about, that he was making videos in 2014 and is still an active member of the community, to the point that he was playing in the Grand Challenge this weekend.
Yeah. I noticed that I was seeing songs of friend who's currently in day 2, and we were hyping him up by saying that
They had me
Cybertron
scheduled to
didn't
go
make
on
day
practice.
2.
Sorry about that. Yeah, we actually, I mean, we have some really cool best dressed teams in day 2, just based off of what I've seen. We have Kiki, we had some really great performers on our best dressed team, because I had to go through and like look at every Limitless submission last night to make sure that they were playing everything out. And no, it was awesome. So
Yeah, it's notably we can see that all 5 of these main ones were hatched, because that was, of course, the premier way of actually getting competitively viable Pokemon back in the day, as it was.
In a
So they've all
pre-hyper
been
training era.
yeah, pre-hyper training, the dark days before bottle caps and all that.
And then I think like the biggest reason I kind of wanted to highlight this one was just I really liked the that they highlighted that these were Pokemon they got with their friends. That was one of the things that I was kind of looking for in this competition, was like, you know, did you go and tell us about why these Pokemon are special? These are Pokemon that they went and have had for 12 years now, but Pokemon that they were getting with their friends, which is really cool. So we can probably get our scoring in on this one. The other thing to note is like 30 ribbons and marks on XY Pokemon is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to point out level ball Kangaskhan from X and Y. That would have to be Rock Tunnel, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, catch it in a level ball, take it to X and Y, and then breed down the level ball to get that blue Pentagon origin mark.
That
Yeah.
is
So in a
some
sense, have an
insane ball
extra
knowledge
couple
right
generation
there.
of steps. Yeah.
Oh man, the Apri ball like breeding market back in XY Sun Moon era was crazy. I used to
Yeah.
go and like catch Pokemon and Apricorn balls as like really strong trade fodder on r/Pokemon trades, just because of how many people were looking for, you know, like they didn't have Heart Gold Soul Silver. And they were like, I really just want like a Moonball, Magmar. Anyways,
It is nice that everyone's being slightly more accessible for Pokemon that aren't, bred down. But there is something to be said about these older gen Pokemon having these balls as sort of like a mark of honor in a sense for like a particularly difficult way of getting them. So they've got to put some respect on that.
give me 1 second, just because I think I should be able to also quickly pull up the photos that they have here. So if I duplicate this, turn this to 65, I should be able to grab their pictures. It's not until like some of the later on spreadsheets, but I did make it so that the spreadsheet auto loaded our photo submissions.
I did think of those. You asked us to pre-screen some of the later ones.
So this is the team that we got here. These are some awesome shinies, awesome ribbons. And it does look like if I jump back over to our panel of judges, let's see what we're sitting at. 74 is an extremely strong score to
I'm giving this one solidate over the boards. Like I know that the initial encounters might not seem too special, but I think there's something to be said about the fact they kind of had to be obtained that way to be competitively viable.
Mm-hmm. And I think breeding back in Gen 6-7, like it wasn't fast by any means.
Well, that's the other thing.
It was definitely a commitment.
If you were competing in Gen 6 VGC, you had to have gotten them from XY or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Like that was when they introduced the origin mark restriction.
Yeah, so there was no bringing your Fire Red Leaf Green Pokemon into VGC, because if they didn't have the Pentagon, then you could not use them.
I forgot about that.
Good insight there, Mr. Toast. He's pulling out the ball knowledge, the Kangaskhan ball knowledge, the reminders of. It's almost like I tried to pick out judges that knew what they were talking about.
Yeah, no follow me Magmar in 2014.
Okay. Well, Mango Pickle, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Let's hop on up to now I think the next one is 85 or no, 68. 68.
Yeah, looks like 68.
Trendan Brendan. With a team here. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting was, again, this is a Pokemon that they've brought they brought with them to a regional or to events. So the Aerodactyl that they're using for the Grand Champions Festival is one that they used on their first ever VGC team back in 2016. I think that stuff like that is so cool, just because we are probably one of the only game communities in the world that can take our achievements and like our memories from 15, 20 years ago and still get to enjoy them to this day in games that were made this year or last year, right? Very cool.
Absolutely. Let's see.
Naughty_Dasty followed and the lab has grown.
You got that Cynthia Gar.
Yeah, I just got to that one as well. Cherishable Garchomp.
Just let me know when you guys have your scores in. I'm just gonna possibly. Okay, no, we do have a couple of. Oh, right. Another thing that I thought was cool was one of these Pokemon was a breed eject from Agent V. So Pokemon number 6, the Mylata.
Oh yeah,
is a breed eject from like a Wonder trading stream that Agent V did, and I thought that was like a cool personal connection. That kind of highlighted just how connected the community can be in cases like that.
Yeah. It's very nice.
Ribbon Master level 1 shiny Delphox from Go.
Just let me know when you guys have those scores in. I'm just kind of like
I think we got them all now. That's an even 70 by the looks of it.
a nice even again. You know what? That is a no, that's like a very great score. I think that we're gonna see a lot of great scores today. I have tried to pretty heavily filter everything down to our top competitors. A 70 is definitely nothing to scoff
It is a
at.
shame, of course, that we just don't have the capacity to go through all of them in the same way we did the start of day one. But for the sake of getting this done in time for the end of the championship tournament, this is unfortunately necessary.
Yeah. If we had a week to look at this, it would be a very different situation. But I actually leave for Korea. Oh yeah, another thing that I wanted to show off was the Floette art that they have. Let me share my screen for you guys so you can see what's going on there. They have this hand drawing of Floette. I thought that was pretty darn cute. With that, so we have that was 68 with a point of 70. And now we are on to 85.
All right, 85.
Toast, could we get a team overview from Karma?
Yeah, so this might just work. We've got Pokeballin, the one-of-a-kind Vivillon, Rothom, the clothing muncher, Mr. in Inspiration, Incineroar, Battle Pass the Gift, Meganium, Benga the Icon Garchomp, and Scope Out the Check Corviknight.
My first pickup was on the Pokeball Vivillon, which is, of course, the other Pokeball pattern Cherish Ball that was only given away at a very, very specific event. But I'm also picking up on Benga the Garchomp, which I thought that name sounded familiar for a second. Of course, that's because this is from the NPC Benga, who gives you a shiny either Gibble or Dratini, depending on whether you're playing Black 2 or White 2 after you do the Black Tower, White Tree post-game thing. So that's a very interesting pick that we haven't seen yet.
Yes. Yeah, they mentioned
an easy
here.
facility, but it's a bit of a grind, honestly. Like I've done Black Tower and White Tree Hollow. Like it takes a good while, even though you can be like over leveled and stuff. Like
you do have to go out of your way to get that special and guaranteed shiny gift.
Yeah, they also mentioned here that it's like one of their favorite Pokemon Black saves that they got it on. They went through the Battle Subway. That's something that like doesn't give a ribbon, you know, like Battle Stars or Pokestar Studios, Battle Subway. These are things that don't give ribbons that a lot of ribbon masters end up skipping.
I tried to highlight these things when I did my big sort of Unova DTQ thing like last year. There's a lot of cool stuff in Black and White that people tend to kind of gloss over on ribbon journeys because it doesn't give you any kind of lasting, achievement for it. But I do think they are incredibly worth your while, since you have to go to Unova anyway. So it's very nice to see someone, dedicate some time to that. I also have to appreciate the use of the selected title, because Tower Master for Garchomp you get from going through Black Tower, that's a very thematically fitting title.
And then yeah, just like on the note of the Vivillon, I'm personally a little bit biased towards Vivillon. I love the Pokemon. I actually think that what's really crazy, as was kind of said here in chat, is it has not been available since X and Y. There's no way to get it, like even from Pokemon Go or anything.
Yeah, there was like one in Oros in 2016 and one in X and Y in 2014, and that was it.
It was like Gen 6. They had like the Hiroshima giveaway. They had one in Paris, and then they had one online giveaway for it, and that's it.
Yeah.
I will point out that I'm pretty sure this isn't a Pokeball, not a Cherish Ball, but I'm not going to dock points for that.
Wait, the Vivillon says Cherish Ball. Oh, but the nickname is Pokeballin?
Well, no, I'm pretty sure the Pokeball Vivillon event was in a standard Pokeball to match.
Oh. Interesting.
But I will not dock points.
Let's see where we're at. We got a couple of points rolling in here. 6-7, 7-4, 7-7. Another extremely strong showing
Yeah. I think I
Um,
would have bumped up personal connection if the Meganium wasn't just the battle pass one, but other than that, there's not really anything I actively thought was missing really.
yeah, no, it's a great team of Pokemon, and I do really like the fact that even though that Garchomp does have all of those ribbons, it did go on journeys that were just outside of needing to like the requirements of getting ribbons. Next up, we have Jano, who has brought Heracross, my best bro. And this was actually for pretty much the entire 10-hour period of me, or however long, I don't even know how many hours, whatever many hours yesterday, last night, where I was reviewing everything. This ended up being the default spreadsheet every time I cloned a new one. So I've accidentally read through Jano's submission maybe 6 or 7 times, because as I got late, I would like duplicate a page, forget to change the number of the contestant, and just reread it and be like, I've seen this before. I've seen these mons before. We got Heracross, my best bro. First off, we got Bro, who
Bro.
inspired them to learn how to do RNG manipulation in Colosseum. We got Ginto, the indomitable siren, Milotic, the space alien who always gets up Trick Room, Mimi the Farigiraf, Wolfie's Ensign, Maj, the performative genderless teacup, and Oli, the best answer to Floette, IMO, the Excadrill. Big notes that I saw here were the Milotic is a Pokemon that he got with his sister, and the Heracross is a full Ribbon Master. And if we go scroll over to the side, these pictures should load. We do have a couple of pictures that kind of show the journey Heracross has taken, which does involve things outside of just getting ribbons as well, which is why I have a perfect 10 on the journey, since this is not just a Heracross that got ribbons. This is a Heracross that has got ribbons and been on other adventures in the games.
Very nice. I'm seeing here with the other shiny Milotic. This is one that was caught in Sword and Shield, but the first encounter goes back to getting an action replay and hacking in some shiny Feebas, them and their sister. Which, I mean, obviously here we don't condone cheating, but I do have to admit that I was also a kid that had an action replay and messed around with it to get some shinies at some point. So I can relate to doing that. And I think sharing them with a sister as well is quite sweet.
Yeah, always bonus points for me when you play with your sister. So this was a high score for me. This was a 29. Even though, like, I think that we could have picked up a couple extra points on like a shiny hunted Heracross. Just the story of sharing that hunt with your sister and everything is it's a lot of points being stacked up on my side here.
Oh, so we got another 80 plus.
So that is a very strong 83. Putting that, I believe that puts us Bro is now in 3rd place, I believe. So I'm gonna highlight that. That is we put that as our light blue as an over 80. 3rd place right now is Bro. Jano, thank you so much for sharing that one with us. And then next up we have Cineir. Cineir has brought some very unique Pokemon. So could we get a quick rundown there, Toast?
We got the PokeTubers team. We've got Cynthia the Accomplice, Catherine the Runner, Pajamas the Dreamer, Esky the Giant Marshmallow, Asdeath the Ruthless, and Stallone the Celebrity.
Now, I've already put my vibe points in. I do like one of the Pokemon on the team a lot. I vibe with the selection. I didn't see any references to Professor Rex in the PokeTuber teams, so I was considering losing some points there, but nah, this is an awesome team.
I'm noticing an absence of either Toasty or myself as well, so they're really playing
Yes.
to the wrong crowd here.
Yeah, they should have read who the judges were before going and calling this the PokeTuber team and not talking about everybody's favorite PokeTubers. But the one that I wanted to highlight here that I thought was really cool was this Rotom Wash named Pajamas, which is in a Dream Ball that comes from
Ooh.
the Pokemon Dream Radar. That was I think this is the only submission that we have in the entire tournament whose game of origin is Pokemon Dream Radar. I was very thorough with the submission sheet, everybody. I don't think I missed anything. But I was not expecting anybody to actually use some of these
for a later team, but that is a very interesting. We've also got a unique Pokemon Dream Radar entry.
Yeah. So I thought that one was pretty cool. We have some RNG manipulated Pokemon from very far back. Cineir is in chat. They say they knew it would be the only Rotom from Dream Radar. Yeah, I don't. It's not a common selection. Rotom has been pretty easy to get in a lot of the recent games, so it's very cool to have it from the Dream Radar.
We were talking about passed down Pokeballs earlier. I wanted to get a Dream Ball Porygon in Gen 6 when that mechanic was introduced, but they made it so that if you're breeding a genderless Pokemon, it can't pass down its Pokeball until Generation 7.
Rip. I had a pretty big collection.
Very unfortunate.
Of them, but I was actually talking to Venti last night. I need to go find my Dream World Stantler. It's the only one I can remember getting. I know I have it somewhere. Another thing that kind of picked up a couple of points from me was this Farigiraf from Heart Gold Soul Silver is one that they caught on the Pokewalker.
Wow, Pokewalker.
I think that that's a very cool origin location. And then as far as X and Y goes, the shiny Sylveon does have a pretty big number of ribbons. Okay.
This one comes from
we got our
the
points in.
Plus
Perfect.
mod. Interesting. I'm still doing a little more.
Okay,
So
cool.
Yeah.
They do have the twinkling star ribbon on the Sylveon. You can only get that if you keep it as an EV and then evolve it after it gets the ribbon.
That's a good catch. Okay.
Nick is just so faithful.
All right, now we got a big one.
We got a couple of pictures here. We got I just wanted to, I guess I should have scrolled along first. Very cool picture of shiny Golurk. But we do have the Farigiraf on the Pokewalker, or the Girafarig on the Pokewalker, which is very cool to see. 74 points. Honestly, an amazing submission from Cineir here. And I think that Cineir submitted a video. I want to say that I looked at it last night, and it is they're working on like an Origin Living Dex. Unless I forgot what no, that's what this is. It's like a Pokemon Home Living Dex is something that they've been working on. So these Pokemon are parts of that as well, which is very cool. Okay, 74 points. Honestly, an amazing submission. I think that had this have been a tiny event, that would have probably been a top 10 team. All of these today are probably like top 10 if we were looking at a much smaller pool of contestants, but there is some tough competition coming out today. Up next, we have Kiki. This is a player who is currently competing in day 2, who has brought some very, very unique Pokemon with them. I think, Morgan, you read through this a little bit before stream. Do you want to kind of give us the
I've got some
rundown?
I've got some good notes here. So, of course, the team overview is friends made along the way, with Traveler, the sociable Frostlass, Frostshard of the distant past Glaceon, Peppermint, the great Dragonite, Spirit, the once imperfect Raichu, Meowscarada, the treasure hunter Meowscarada, and Ribbon, the treasured memory Milotic. This whole team is awesome, and it really does pain me that we don't have longer to go through every single aspect of it. But as per our judging criteria, I think the three that stand out most to me would have to be Glaceon, Raichu, and Milotic. Milotic, we've seen a lot of usage in this tournament, of course. It's a very strong Pokemon, good ability, good type coverage, etc., etc. And while this one isn't shiny, it is undoubtedly a very unique one since it comes from the distribution machine that was in the old New York Pokemon Center in the early 2000s. I'm admittedly a sucker for this specific distribution because that's where my own Sableye comes from, and it's really cool to see another PCNY Pokemon on display. Not to mention the personal aspect of how it got to her, of how it got to her, and how it's associated with Reggie Ultima, who is a mutual friend of ours in the Ribbon community, who unexpectedly passed away earlier this year. So that's a very personal, sentimental Pokemon that I have to give full marks for.
As far as like personal sentiment goes, also like I picked, we shouldn't be biased as judges, but it's also not our fault that, you know, all three of us are quite active in the Pokemon collecting community. So this Milotic is a Pokemon that I picked up when I was visiting a close friend of mine for the Hartford Pokemon regionals. I picked this up from the actual Pokemon distribution machine. And then when I was in Japan, I traded it to a friend who then in Florida traded it to Kiki. So this Pokemon has kind of bounced all over the world. And then I think the story behind the Raichu also definitely stands out. This is a Raichu from
this is what I was saying earlier about your thoroughness with making this form, is that this is the only Pokemon in the entire tournament out of the, like, what is it, like 1,300 or so that have been submitted for this contest. This is the only one that comes from Pokemon Battle Revolution on the Wii.
Yeah, like I was like, you know what? What are the odds somebody's going to have, you know, a Haley Pokemon Ranch Pokemon? You never know. Toast has made Pokemon Ranch pretty popular.
Yeah, I mean, she's got an Eevee, she's got a Starap or a Staravia, I think. I forget if Staraptor's in this game yet, but she's got some stuff that's got some sauce to it.
Yeah, so this is a Raichu that they redeemed from Pokemon Battle Revolution. The Surfing Pikachu in Pokemon Battle Revolution is a gift Pokemon you receive for completing the first playthrough of Pokemon Battle Revolution. It's like a gift you can give away. And this Pokemon was redeemed on May 20th, 2008. So this is a gift Pokemon from a very, very long time ago. And it's really cool to see it being used now in the modern games as a Raichu. It's
a pretty significant challenge to also have beaten Battle Revolution, you know, as an 8-year-old with just like rental teams, as they mentioned. So they were like very much struggling to get that done. So it's a pretty significant achievement, all things considered.
Rental team only for Battle Revolution is like a whole challenge run in and of itself, for sure.
The other one I wanted to mention, like I said, also was the other Glaceon. Is the Milotic and Raichu, great examples of Pokemon that are really interesting without having to be shiny. This one is shiny, and it's a Cherish Ball Eevee that came from a 2010 in-person VGC distribution, which is a very, very interesting, like, niche Pokemon, I think. This one was traded earlier this year to turn into a Ribbon Master Glaceon. And as we can see in the sort of journey since meeting, this is also came at quite a rough time for Kiki, as her father had to go through heart surgery recently. So this was a sort of a good distracting project, I think, to sort of help to get through that experience.
Yeah, and I think that both of these Pokemon highlight almost like a rediscovery of old Pokemon as well. This is a Pokemon that was kind of held on a Heart Gold, Soul Silver file for 16 years. And, you know, that Pikachu kind of sat on a Pokemon Pearl for 18 years. I think Kiki was saying that next month they'll be 18 years old. They'll be legally allowed to vote as a Raichu.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all Pokemon that definitely have very strong personal connections to the player.
Yeah.
Ones that they've associated with real life events as well. And I think that one of the most important things you can do in Pokemon is make friends through it. So, Toast, do you have anything to add here?
I'm noticing that all of these are Ribbon Masters except for the Frostlass. Very nice.
And
Gen 3 and 4
Frostlass
Ribbon Masters. They're a lot of commitment.
Yeah. The Frostlass I also wanted to kind of briefly touch on, because we can see by their own admission that this was explicitly added to the team for its competitive value. But there's also the same sort of personal element of connection by having it traded from a friend. And this also ties back to one of the original frontrunner teams from yesterday, because this Frostlass came from Mialencia, and her team also had the Likos Meowscarada that was traded from Kiki. So this is two people using Pokemon they've received from each other in the tournament.
That's really cool. That's a really cool catch. Okay, I think this one's going to be tough to score. This was the first one I didn't put a score down for. I'm gonna have to take a few minutes here to just think it over. I think looking through everything, some of these pictures are great. Pictures vibes.
Yeah, I think I'd be hard pressed to give less than a solid 9 for the Cherishable EV Pokopia Raichu and the PCNY Milotic as far as initial encounters go.
Ooh, and you know what? This last picture gives us, if we're looking at Ribbon Masters, the last thing I'm looking for on top of being a Ribbon Master is that they've taken additional journeys. Hope the Milotic has popped into Pokemon Ranch. So that, for me, is everything I'm looking for. Journey, since, we have a Ribbon Master that has visited additional games that were not necessary for the Ribbon Master journey. Ranch gives that a perfect 10. Oh my goodness. Judging the personal connection is such a difficult thing. You know what? No, I have to give it a 10 because one of the coolest things about this event was the community that it formed. Trading around Pokemon to help each other make teams is what I think part of the spirit of this event was about.
Absolutely.
I can't. Oh, no, that's an illegal score. Okay. Yeah, I think that some of these Pokemon, like these are event Pokemon, these aren't necessarily, shiny hunted Ribbon Master Coliseum Pokemon like that. How do you get much rarer than a 9 is like you really have to step into the realm of like an almost impossible Pokemon. But for me, I'm just looking at it. I'm like, my criteria has been I've been looking for Ribbon Masters that have taken additional steps in their journey that they didn't have to. The Glaceon went through and like did a run through of Diamond and Pearl, like that special,
Absolutely.
the Milotic touched Ranch. Personal
and
connections.
I mean, if you just have to look at this sheet and just see how much like detail and information has been provided here to say that it's kind of how can you not say that this is an undoubtedly extremely personal team that's been assembled here?
Yeah. So I believe that puts Kiki as the first team to surpass 90 points. We have a score here of 94 out of a possible 99. It's going to be a very, very difficult score to try and match. But that being said, it's not going to be impossible. There are some very strong contenders coming up later on in the competition.
I gotta say as well, I'm very proud that Kiki's been done so well in like the actual battling side of things, because this team was optimized for this part of the competition. She had like obviously there's some like attempt at creating like a solid, cohesive, competitive synergy, but making day 2 with this team as well, just very incredible. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah, let's see. Why don't we, since we have it here, anyways, we're in round 11 now. The limitless name. This is as far as I know right now, for our like high placing teams, this is one of the highest ranking teams on the
Yeah. And I know Day 2's been like very tough, and I think she's like lost the first game so
Okay.
far, but either way, still, this is a very, very good performance. This is also currently the top. This is the only team that made Day 2, I think, or at least the highest scoring team using Raichu and Glaceon. So those are like actual front runners in that regard.
Yeah. Okay. Kiki,
I hope she wins the Glaceon plush because that would be very funny as well.
that would be amazing. Because
Yeah.
you can tell that some of these Pokemon were like, they wanted to win the best dressed team, and then the Glaceon could have very well just been like, let's get the plush too, you know, while we're at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Up next, we have Joji, aka it's me Joji on YouTube and whatnot. This is another really, really high scoring team. I've already reviewed parts of it, but Joji is somebody who's brought a Ribbon Master Blastoise, a shiny Ribbon Master Blastoise.
Ribbon Master Blastoise, all the way from Fire Red, Leaf Green.
And they have the name Shell Shock. That is a vibe from me because it's reminiscent of Shell Shocker of the first Pokemon movie.
Yeah, Shell Shocker, a nickname that does not fit in the Gen 1 through 5 nickname limit.
Oh, but he could battle name it in Champions. He could give it the full Shell Shocker name in Champions. I didn't even learn that until a few days ago when I was talking with you and you had said something, renaming a Pokemon 12 characters.
Yeah, like if you leave it unnicknamed all the way until Sword and Shield, then you get a free re-nickname on a non-OT Pokemon. But it has to stay unnicknamed and it has to match the language.
And it also can't be a fateful encounter. There's like the 3 restrictions you got to deal with.
Yeah, no renaming Pokemon from XD. That's too far.
Oh, is that are those considered like fateful? They can't be renamed. That's funny.
Yeah, just for some reason, every Pokemon from XD Gale of Darkness has the fateful encounter flag.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so this team lineup we have They Bring Me Happiness. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, we have, as mentioned, Shell Shock, the living legend Blastoise. Mochi, the greatest friend one could ask for, a shiny Furfrou. We have Poispup and Seltzer, the community, which are Venusaur and Pelipper. We have Oka, the cup of relaxation, Sinistcha, and Barney, the dino fire lizard Charizard. I very much like full vibe points for bringing all 3 Kanto starters. I know we've seen some people have, Venusaur and Charizard work quite well for the sun power up. But also putting Blastoise in that team with a Pelipper is a very interesting sort of dual weather setup here.
Yeah, it gets access to Water Spout.
We have a strong
Pokemon in the game, I think.
Fire, water, grass core here that we're looking at.
So full style points for 3 shiny starters from the same generation. That's very cool.
Also, Furfrou, an uncommon pick.
Mm-hmm. And I had a bit of a pre-scan of this one because Rex told us to, take in some of the Meteor entries here. This one's also got quite a personal attachment to it, as this one is named after their real-life dog emoji, who sadly had to be put down at the beginning of this year.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been named in their honor.
Yeah, there was a couple of little dog Pokemons that I saw. So I'm just letting a couple people know that they're up on deck for reviews. But yeah, we
wild shiny starter from Zone 20 as well with the Venusaur.
Yeah, very nice.
Those non-guaranteed 5% alphas. I wouldn't know anything about that.
I will mention, in case anybody was questioning, like, Rex, you gave 2 vibe points, but you said you vibed with Shell Shocker. That did partially just come down to this one note on the Sinistcha, where under total ribbons and marks they wrote 6 7 ... crying face emoji. So for me, that was something that I did have to penalize Joji for just a little bit. There was too many 6-7 jokes in these submissions, and it was already extremely late by the time I was getting through these. We are currently at, I think this is submission 106. So at this point, I had gone through another almost 50 submissions after stream. By the time we get to like submission 243, I just want everybody to know that the amount of like brain cells that I had to lose due to 6-7 jokes being in the submissions was substantial. I was considering like maybe I should go back to university. I don't know if it's even in the cards anymore.
Yeah.
There's
I mean,
no brain cells
at this
left.
point, you probably only had like 7 brain cells left, maybe 6.
I'm gonna. I need like the Discord disconnect call sound effect. 86.
That's as close as you're getting to me making a joke about that. Let's carry on.
86 is an extremely competitive score. Joji, that puts them in it's 4th place right now.
Yeah, I think that's just behind the other that was previously joined first, I think.
Yeah, so I think were the other scores before 87 or 88? Wow, the 6-7 joke.
I think they were 89.
89? Okay. 89, that's correct. Okay. The 6-7 joke is not what's gonna make or break it for you there, Joji. But I did like the kind of the core, the Firewater Grass core of the 3 Gen 1 starters, I thought was definitely interesting. And they had a picture here of their Furfrou with the NPC shiny Furfrou, which is very cool.
Oh yeah, I skimmed over that. I didn't realize that was the NPC one. That's very cool. That was a great photo opportunity.
Up next, we have Owen. They were hanging out here yesterday. I think that they were very excited to see.
Yeah,
us
I think I saw them. Yeah.
Yeah. Big reason for me holding out hope on this team doing really well is their number 1 Pokemon is crazy. Let me give us an introduction.
Oh yeah, I immediately noticed that one. Yeah, carry on.
The Journeys of Princess Freya. Warrior Princess Freya, the heart and soul of the party, Gardevoir. Reaver, the gentle dragon, Garchomp. Cookster, the cheerful culinary cleric, Sinistcha. Razor, the rogue for hire, Rotom Wash. And Beast, the plain paragon Aerodactyl. I'll give a quick overview of Pokemon number 1. This is the one that I kind of highlighted. And then if you guys want to read Pokemon 2 and 3 and then give your scoring, that would be awesome. So Freya is a Gardevoir that they caught full odds in Pokemon Emerald. So this was they had never really been able to play the original Pokemon Emerald. They saved up money to buy a copy of Pokemon Emerald after watching I think this is an appeal to the judges, but they watched Canned Wolf Meat and Sir Toasty Toes videos on the Ribbon Master Challenge. They said here that they reached out to Sir Toast, and to their surprise, he actually responded and was very encouraging. I mean, I don't know. That guy
very
does seem
famously aloof and doesn't talk with people and hates helping people.
famously does not respond to anything. He's just in it for the money.
Yeah, that's me.
But yeah, so he started this playthrough with his plan of like getting a Pokemon and then going back to shiny hunting Ralts with breeding afters. The original plan was beat the game, breed for shiny Ralts, because Ralts is a 5% encounter on Route 102. It is one of the rarest Pokemon in Hoenn that you can find, and they found it looking for a regular Ralts. Their idea was like, I'm going to play with a regular Ralts and then breed that one to become shiny. And they actually found a shiny Ralts while looking for their Ralts. Notes here on the journey, pretty much it was cinema in their own words. And then Toast, could you confirm the ribbon count on the Garchomp for us real quick? Does that sound about right?
Let's see. Gen 4 Garchomp. That sounds correct, because you're missing like 20 from the previous contest, 2 from the tower, artist, earth. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Cool. And one thing that I had wanted to highlight, the thing that I've said I've been looking for, if we're looking at Journey since, Ribbon Masters with a little bit of extra flair, Freya has indeed collected the Golden Crown in Pokemon Heart Gold that is something that you can go out of your way to collect in Heart Gold that does absolutely nothing and disappears when they leave Heart Gold Soul Silver. So it's a very
I also see that they've competed in the Pokeathlon with Garchomp and Gardevoir here, which is another sort of side thing that doesn't really offer anything going forward. But it's very cool to immortalize them in the trophy room like that.
the last photo that we have is also Freya in a screenshot battling Mega Gallade, Wally's Mega Gallade in Omega Ruby, or like the credits version of that battle. So that was very cool as well.
Nice.
But yeah, I was like, I don't think that we can really, you can't really get much crazier than a full odds Ralts. And you know what? I'm thinking about it now. I think that last night I was a little bit harsh. I think that rereading the story, if it had been shiny hunted, maybe we're looking at a 9. Randomly finding it when your goal was to breed for one later anyways is crazy. So it's a very, very strong scoring.
Yeah, we've got a Joyful Mark
by Owen.
Sinistra, one of those personality marks.
Lovely.
And we've got a Heavy Ball King Gambit from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. That was the first game Poniard was in that you could actually use Apricorn Pokeballs.
Oh, true, yeah.
I'm a big fan of King Gambit, the Royal Master. If it's not going to get the Royal Ribbon from Gen 6, that's a
great alternative.
As close as you can get. That's cool.
Yeah, you know, I'm bummed with the vibe check for that one. That's puts me at a 28 for this one. It was a very good team.
For a wow, look at that. Back to back we go 87, 88, taking the top 4 spot from Joji with a score of 88. Cineir, or sorry, Pyowen or Owen, thank you so much for sharing that team with us. I hope that you and Freya have done extremely well this weekend. And if not, well, I hope you've had a lot of fun, because that was the task that the wonderful Scraw set us out to complete. He said, you know what, Rex, I want something to be part of this event that even if people don't necessarily win the whole thing, they have a great chance at a secondary prize or just a really good chance at having some fun. So thank you so much for sharing your team with us there. Up next, we have Breitton. Toast, could we get a quick overview of this team?
Yeah, we've got Ancient Beasts, One Tragic Miracle. Mama Lindy, the Unbreakable Mother, Mega Kangaskhan. Vinette, the Fallen Blossom, Mega Floette. Gaia, the Earthshaker, Garchomp. Galantine, the Royal Revenant, Aegislash. Rocky, the Sky Tyrant, Aerodactyl. And Tom, the Static Trickster, Rotom Wash.
Cool. I'm just looking through they submitted their team here. I'm just looking through it in a video. But maybe if you guys want to give me your highlights of what you see on the team, and then we can continue along with giving some points. But I do believe that this Kangaskhan is sitting with a lot of ribbons.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see if the images are loading to get a.
It's a video, so the video is just them showing off the titles available to Kangaskhan and the rest of their team here.
I see. Okay.
Luxury Ball Aerodactyl, as they point out, the only time you could use a Luxury Ball on Aerodactyl until I think Sword and Shield was in the entry forest, and so to breed down a Luxury Ball, you would have to get an entry forest Aerodactyl and then bring it to a later generation where Pokeballs can pass down. I remember as a kid, I wanted a Premier Ball Shiny Cranidos, and I could not find anyone to trade me a Premier Ball Cranidos, because who would have something like that?
How would it have been possible even at that point?
You'd have to get a Cranidos in the dream world, because it's not in the Dream Radar. And then
Dream World, sorry, not Dream Radar, yeah.
When you're in the entry forest, you would have to catch it in specifically a Premier Ball.
Oh, I didn't even know that you could choose to not use Dream Balls.
Yeah, you just get given a Dream Ball, but you can use anything in your bag.
Yeah, they all had a guaranteed catch rate, I'm pretty sure.
Wow. So yeah, that is an extremely rare Pokemon then to have
Yeah.
obtained an Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon then.
Like, interestingly, it wasn't until, I want to say, is it like specifically Crowders and Shieldon haven't been available catchable in the wild until very recently. I think Legends Arceus was the first one to do it, but obviously those ones are stuck to
The
the
weird
standard,
balls.
yeah, the weird Hisuian balls. So I think it wasn't until, I'm pretty sure they're in the DLC Blueberry Academy, right? I think that might be the first time since then that you can catch them in any standard Pokeball. So yeah, so prior to the Indio Disc, any Rampardos or Shieldon not in a regular Pokeball would have had to have been effectively descended from one of those Dream World ones.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but anyway, back to the team at hand. Yeah.
no, yeah, I think that's a really cool fact that I actually missed when I was reading this last night. So that's a really cool little thing to know. And then like there is just a couple of notes here. Like they have a whole bunch of ribbons on their Heart Gold Soul Silver Kangaskhan. And not only that, but it's like been used in a lot of the post games as well, and it's gone on walks in the Pokewalker. It's been a very well loved Pokemon. And it's actually, they said, named after their mom. But the biggest reason I wanted to highlight this Kangaskhan is, did you guys catch their first encounter explanation of the Kangaskhan?
Yeah, shiny hunted by their dad as a birthday present in 2012. That is a very interesting origin.
That kind of requires possibly having one of the most based dads in existence.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a 10% in Rock Tunnel. So I wonder if Dad phased and didn't tell anyone.
Wait, yeah, that's crazy. Luxury Ball means that it had to have been caught in the wild. That's a
Yeah, true.
based dad right there. You know what? I didn't even think about the encounter rate possibility of that Kangaskhan. That's a
Yeah,
very,
I was
very cool
thinking maybe it
gift.
could have been bred, but yeah, if it's in a luxury ball, it's got to have been caught in the wild.
For that reason alone, and the fact I had no idea about the Aerodactyl ball origins, I'm gonna bump up my score a little bit on the rarity there because
Yeah,
I did
same.
not catch that last night at 1 a.m.
And then I am a fan of, like, I'll be honest, Floette is kind of a difficult Pokemon to work into a best dressed team because like we've only just now gotten access to it and everyone encounters it the exact same way. And so having a Floette that's named after someone is I think a good way to make it more special than the other Floette who are otherwise encountered in the exact
Yeah,
same
like mine's named
context.
AZ. It's like nothing special. But Rosette is a very, very beautiful name for a Floette, and it's nicknamed after their girlfriend, which is super cute. Awesome. Good catch there, Toast. Looks like we have a very, very strong scoring here. 82 points out of a possible 100. I think are we like blatantly across the board over 80 today? No, I think we might have had the 170. Like we have had very, very strong showings so far today. 82 for Breitton. I think that puts you in the top 6 so far. And you know what? Within a group of friends, I guarantee that you have the coolest Pokemon of anybody. Um, Within a group of 250 of some of the most intense Pokemon collectors in the world, still top 6 is pretty good. Up next, we have Argamax 89. He has brought the most stylish Spanish team. And you know what? Since I'm going to get fumble every single one of these words, Toast, why don't you take it away with the team reading here?
Am I on the same sheet as you guys?
120, right?
Number 120.
Okay, good. We've got Hunter Schaefer the Gorgeous, Familia Gare the once well trained, Queen's Gambit the Royal, Falcon Punch the Veteran, SS Chongying of the Distant Past, and Gaburius the Sinnoh Champion.
Is it Gaburius? It's very close to the Japanese name, Gabrias. think
I
that
think that
might be
is
the Japanese name of Garchomp.
yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I think the big one there that I caught was the shiny Garchomp from Sun and Moon, which was that was pretty cool. Old teammate from shiny Metagross, but can't run Mega Metagross right now. But this is a Pokemon that he used to
Shame.
battle with friends online with. Apparently, they did the Gudra Cup. Not sure what the Gudra Cup might be, but maybe that means something to somebody that used to do like online battle tournaments. I think that the VGC scene back then was like so much more grassroots online than it is now. That being said, we're part of the biggest grassroots VGC tournament of all time right now, but still just really cool to see. I also really liked the note that they had on Queen's Gambit, where they said they hatched it 10 years ago. It was meant to be Poniard forever, but upon gaining a new evolution in or in Scarlet Violet, it felt like it was time for it to gain a proper ribbon and cross time and space to Paldea.
Of course, that's one that is eligible to have the King Gambit or the Queen's Gambit, the royal title, the gorgeous royal ribbons. It's very nice. We also have a family of 3 Mousehold here, not shiny, but still the much rarer alternate form here. Very nice.
Also, a very cool note. This is a Tandemos received from a friend who gifted it to him when he found out he was going to be a dad. Which is pretty cool. And they said that this is also the first time that they've shared a lot of these Pokemon anywhere online. Okay. And it looks like we have another funny number, 69. The kind of score that yesterday we were really struggling to get up to. So amazing job on that submission there. Thank you so much for sharing that. The most stylish Spanish team. I will say there's a very good chance that that's true. How many Spanish players do you think we had in the tournament that brought such stylish teams? Also just like really cool to think about the fact that we have people from all over the world that are competing in this event. That is one of the things that you don't get from in-person events in the same way, is like the ease of access for people from all over the world to be able to compete together without needing
Shout
to
out
cross.
the internet.
Shout out internet. Onto team 125. That puts us officially, halfway through all of the submissions total. But we do have quite a few still for today. But 125. Morgan, could we get a note here?
Yep. So we have the team overview: use and destroy meta fabulously part. So we
Does
have
the heart
flying
count as a word?
I mean, yeah, it's a very thorny theological debate here, but I think we'll allow it. So we have Flying Dutch, the Undead Horror, Basculegion male form. We have another Queen Gambit, the chess strategist. Toxic Spears, the campy fighter, Sneasler. Fire Biscotti, the buff kitty cat, Incineroar. Non-binary T, the cleric parent of the group, Sinastria. And Dactylus, the revived king of the skies, Aerodactyl. As they've said, this is quite a current meta type team. We have all the staples. We have Basculegion, Sneasler, Aerodactyl, Sinastria, Incineroar, and King Gambit. So let's see how they've made this team their own. You right?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, one of the things that I really liked on this team was Queen Gambit. It is a nickname that we've seen a few times on King Gambits so far.
Quite literally on the last team.
Yeah, but a Dream Ball shiny is something that you don't get to see that
R8089
often
has joined the lab.
Oh yes,
from X
that
and
is very
Y.
good. That would, of course, also have had to have been bred down from a Dreamworld one, right? Or at least it was probably
Yeah.
out in the Dream Radar. I think it might have been.
I guess that's a good point.
E-
I hadn't thought about
Either way,
exactly
still
what
a
the origin.
very, very cool Pokemon.
It's still one of those like cross generation transfers plus a Masuda shiny hunt. So
Yeah. I think it's
Yeah, but
Dreamworld. I don't.
Yeah, Ponyard wasn't in the Dream Radar, so that would have been a Dreamworld shiny, a Dreamworld Pokemon bred down. Very cool.
Yeah, and then this Aerodactyl, full odds egg and emerald.
Oh yeah, as well. That is a very cool one.
And then with the Earth Ribbon.
yeah. Let's see. So we do have a couple of pictures here. This is mostly just the battle team that we have there in Champions. I do like the name though. Oh, Randy, hello. Hi. Okay, we got okay, yeah, we got some strong points here. A 9 on the Dream Ball King Gambit. Very cool.
Yeah, I think the Dream Ball that had to be from the now defunct Dream World, and then the full odds egg and emerald when like fire red leaf green soft resets are right there. Same odds, but like way
Right.
faster encounter rate.
Yeah.
Right. That was the other thing. And then this is like it's not a ribbon master, but there are a lot of ribbons on this
Yeah.
Aerodactyl.
I'm
No,
guessing since they said this was an Emerald, there's a good chance they might have had to do it that way. If they got traded an Aerodactyl, that would have been their only real access to one.
Yeah,
So that
so
pretty much could have been a hunt done out of necessity.
it's definitely interesting because they say they were hatching the Aerodactyl for days. Days is lucky. Days is lucky for a hunt as long as an egg hunt in Gen 3. It's still really cool though to have a Pokemon that has moved so far up the chain over time. So we are looking at a strong showing of 74 on the last of April's team. They have definitely brought some very cool Pokemon along with them. So
if you want to make a start on the next team, I'm just going to be back in a second. Just got to take a second.
Sure. Well, we have up next Atomic Absol. You want to give us a team overview here, Toast, while I take a look at any of these pictures?
Yeah, we've got what year is it? We've got Fred Flinchstone, the Hoenn hatchling Aerodactyl, Caliburn, the formerly broken Aegislash, Soleil, the caregiver Volcarona, Tiamat the terrible Milotic, Poblano, the Paldean connoisseur Hydreigon, and Rain, the emissary for the departed Gardevoir.
Yeah, one of the big reasons I loved this team was Fred Flinchstone is just a fantastic name. Just a fantastic name. Also, Tiamat is my favorite monster in Dungeons and Dragons, so that is an extremely based name for Milotic. And do you know what Tiamat is there, Toast?
Yeah, the
Multi-headed
chaotic
dragon.
evil five-headed chromatic dragon.
He knows ball. Man's knows ball. I've wanted for like the longest time one of the official Wizards of the Coast like pre-painted Tiamat figures, the gargantuan ones. So I liked the name here, but Fred Flinchstone made me laugh. And by the time I was at this one, it was like 1 a.m. So I was laughing at a lot of things, but that one got a pretty hefty giggle out of me. As I noted here, nicknames are impeccable.
Yeah, the classic shinies Wylus while looking for Roaring Moon, because of course that cave is filled with like a ton of other dragon and dark types.
And then I also gave strong points. These are Pokemon, some of them that have been with them for a long time and been to a lot of tournaments. They say all of their real life friends at this point know Tiamat well, in the 10 years of running it at their local league, they've tried to draft Milotic almost every time. And in 2017, Tiamat was on their winning team at a local convention's gym challenge. And it's also been to like Indianapolis, or it's going to be going to Indianapolis regionals next month. But this is like
that is very notable.
That's a Pokemon that they've been using for a good strong 10 years. And I think that when everybody that you know locally knows that like your ace Pokemon is Tiamat the Milotic, I think that that is like a personal connection that's been built in the way that your identity is now tied to how freaking badass your Milotic is. So also
I do think
Mothra,
it's
great name for Volcrona.
yeah. On the topic of the nicknames, I do think it's quite funny that Milotic is called Tiamat right next to a Hydreigon, which is a multi-headed dragon.
Where Hydreigon is definitely more
Yeah, when you said, as I came back in, you were talking about Tiamat, and I thought, oh, that's the Hydreigon, right? And then I saw right next to it was the Milotic. So a funny coincidence there.
In their defense, it seems like the Hydreigon is something that they caught much later on, and the name Tiamat was already taken.
Could have always been Tiamat too.
That's how I name all my Dungeons and Dragons characters. I'm on like Argent the 10th at this point. Yeah, cool. Ugh. But great team. And then one other thing that I did want to show off, like we have some great pictures of Tiamat here as well. I really like this picture of Tiamat out splashing around. I'm assuming that's a 3DS photo of this Tiamat, and they do have the original capture
Yeah, that looks
photo.
like it would. That looks like it would have been from the photo club in Alola.
They have the original capturing of Zawailos there that evolved into Hydreigon, giving us a very, very strong 77 on Atomic Absol. Great work, Absol. Next up, we have Enaut. Enaut, who has brought the Firefox Queens. And as far as making a team of queens goes, they've definitely done their due diligence. We have Sasha, the sneakiest hunter in the forest, the Ninetales. Nymphadora, the fiery queen of Hogwarts, the Delphox. Harley Quinn, the trick or threat, Meowscarada. Ojito Concuro. Watch out for Curo in Spanish. Legitimate heir to the Pirate King. Sure. Yep. So they have Sneasler, the legitimate heir of the Pirate King. Chigiri, the locked princess of the Seven Seas. And Arrow Gambling. Let's go gambling. The Dizzy Croupier Aerodactyl.
Interesting I'm picking up, first of all, is that I'm surprised we haven't actually seen this before, but then again, I guess it's not too surprising. But this is, I think, the first Let's Go Origin Pokemon we've looked at.
That was something of note that I kind of wanted us to take a look at. I agree with you. I agree with you. The thing that I think we all need to remember is the games came out in like 2017 or 2018.
Yeah. It was the first. Calling the main line is debatable. People argue about this back and forth, but effectively compatible with the main line. It was the first games on the Switch.
Yeah.
Sort of this would fall within sort of the same range as people we've seen using Pokemon from Sword and Shield, which we saw quite a few of at the start. But I guess the sort of the difference between sort of the battle systems in place, and of course the whole different sort of gameplay really might explain why we haven't seen too many Let's Go Pikachu Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
That is certainly an interesting origin for a shiny.
Yeah, and then this was also a Ninetales that they got from a friend, so that was pretty cool. Or sorry, they originally got one from a friend that turned out to be illegal, so they shiny hunted their own.
That's pretty good
So
motivation
kind
for
of
hunting one.
a replacement of an accidental illegal Pokemon that they got from a friend. And then Nymphadora is like one of their first. So sorry, Delphox was one of their first starters when they actually like properly played through a Pokemon game. So they went and shiny hunted their Delphox and used one of their only Master Balls in Legends ZA to give it a little bit of extra flair. And I think that if we're going to be looking at just what shiny Delphox and shiny it's shiny, right?
Ninetales.
Yeah, no, shiny sorry. The shiny Mega Delphox looks like.
Yeah, it's
Master
very
Balls are
much the
very
same as
good.
the base mega. Yeah, it matches quite nicely.
We also have some very interesting photos to go along with everything here. I might not know the anime references well enough to fully appreciate what we're seeing here. But as far as vibe points go, we got some pretty interesting pictures. I don't know. I do love, if you guys are seeing this, gambling Aerodactyl.
Yeah.
I think that is a perfect representation of everybody running, fast tailwind rock slide tricks this weekend.
Yeah.
This assassin looking character tying up their hair before heading out to battle with Milotic is sick. I don't know what this is from, but it's just mega vibes. And no clue what's going on with this photo of Delphox and Ninetales, but again, it is a vibe.
You're gonna hit that crazy dap up.
Ooh, I thought that could be what it is. Yeah, that's fair. Ninetales sets up Drought. Delphox is one of the fastest Pokemon in the game right now, so just immediately set them up and knock them down. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We got some points rolling in now. I'm gonna give for first encounter. I think that going and like reclaiming a Pokemon is a great way to like encounter a Pokemon, kind of taking it back for yourself. So I'm gonna give an extra point on the initial encounter there. Journey Since. These are really cool. It's the shiny Delphox is a kind of a replacement stand-in for their Pokemon they've had since 2013. So for personal connection, I think that's a strong number of points. I'm gonna give a full 3 for the Let's Go Gambling Aerodactyl, I think, on vibe points there. Giving us a nifty 69 points.
It keeps happening.
You know what? There was probably like a very tight cluster right there, like 6'7", 6'9", and then like in that like 65 to 75, I think we have a very, very tight clustering, which is something that nobody should be disappointed in. If you are right in like that pack of the top entries, you've brought some very, very cool Pokemon with you. So thank you for that submission there. Not. Next up, we have Spude. Toast, could we get an overview here of Spude?
Yeah, we've got the Bodacious Battle Buddies registered trademark. Donut the Shimmering Sheep, Ampharos. Circuit the Ace Ace, Jolteon. Dart the Hamburglar, Sneasler. Couch the Potato, Hisuian Typhlosion. Sidewinder the Silver Songbird, Corviknight. And Svalbard the Windy and Wavy, Alolan Ninetales. Right off the bat, we have
right off the bat. Yeah, I think you
we've
guys
got
will
a
catch what this is.
shiny Ribbon Master Ampharos. That's the Flaffy from Pyrite Square. Or rather, this is the card E-Room because it is less noisy RNG wise. There's way fewer NPCs. There's like 3, I think. And so getting the card E room unlocked is a little bit tricky if you don't have the cards. So the door is only unlocked in the Japanese version, and then it exists in the US version, but they just made it so that the door just leads into Phoenix Stadium instead of
I didn't know that it gets remapped.
yeah, so they just made it so that the door doesn't actually take you there. And so they changed they moved their save file to a Japanese version of Colosseum, walked through the door, and then changed their save file back to an American copy, because now once you're saved in the room, you can exist there in the US version. And so honestly, a lot of work, but it lets you actually RNG the shadow Pokemon without being, dozens of frames off because an NPC decided to go for a little stroll.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. And then I mean, this is a Pokemon that has obviously been on a lot of adventures, getting all of the ranked ribbons. Sorry, getting all of the ribbons. So for me, it's a 9 on the extra adventures.
And a very rare title that I'm almost certain that they did not get the intended way. We have a country ribbon Jolteon.
Yeah. So their note here is that this was something that was not necessarily legally given away, but kind of given away through an unofficial event distribution in the early 2000s. So they went to they were part of a draft league, and this was a reward Pokemon. So
Yeah.
still
What's
a very
interesting-
interesting personal connection on having a Pokemon that is this long,
Yeah.
especially and they're saying they don't really want to bring it to official tournaments because of this ribbon not technically being something
That's very fair.
But interestingly, Jolteon is one of the few species we know that actually did earn the country ribbon.
Yes.
In history.
Yes.
And so that is an interesting coincidence there.
I think the same player that has Milotic has the Jolteon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think Saburo might also have a Jolteon, but I think that one was during the Gen 4 run of the country ribbon.
Mm.
But yeah, interesting that and honestly interesting that Champions has those titles and lets you bring them in.
It's always been surprising to me that they don't have any sort of documentation of which Pokemon should have that ribbon. If so few of them were given out, you'd expect that it wouldn't have been that much work for them to have say, unless it is this Pokemon, it can't go into bank, right?
Right.
But
it is very cool they have basically committed to that upkeep for what is such a rare Pokemon.
Yeah.
There's maybe less. I would say with certainty there's probably less than 100 out there. Maybe less than even 50. That actively
there might have been less than 100 ever, honestly.
To start, yeah. So I think that's a very cool team. I think that they've brought something unique. I think that going through the effort, I will say, as per the rules as written for the event, I think that these two of these would still kind of constitute as illegal Pokemon. But I think sharing the story of how they got to where they are still makes them very valuable.
Yeah. I'm also just giving vibe points in general for using Mega Ampharos, as I presume is going to be on this team setup. Because that's a very cool Mega that's kind of underused.
He looks so cool, man. Mega Ampharos looks sick. A very strong showing. 74 out of a maximum of 99. So 74 is a very strong showing. You're up against some of the hardest judges that could possibly have been out here. So thank you for sharing those Pokemon with us, Spude. Up next, we have somebody who's not necessarily in the running, so we don't need to you probably don't need to spend too much time scoring, just because their point maximum isn't going to be in the running for winning the whole thing. But I did still want to show off these really cool like sports arena banners.
Oh yeah, I see. Those are
That
very nice.
Home Run CJ made for Team Home Run. So I just liked the idea of thinking that if we were at the Grand Champions Festival, right? There's a big stadium. These are the sorts of things that would be hung up around the stadium off of flag poles, flag staffs, and like walls, just these big wall banners of Team Home Run. I just thought that was very cool. And this picture of Incineroar is also kind of badass. So CJ, thank you so much for the submission. I really did like reading about all of your Pokemon. I think that we probably just needed one or two more hyper rare ones to hit the top spot. But I did give you full vibe points on the banners. I think those are cool. Up next, could we get an introduction for Seaside Pokemon?
Yep, I can handle that one. So for this one, we have Houndoom's Day in the Sun. We have the quite prominent Indiana, the loyal Houndoom. We have Betty, the whimsical Whimsicott. Nobunaga, the honorable King Gambit. Salmon, the undying Basculegion. Gerald, the dancing Frigiraffe. And Sunbeam, the aromatic Meganium. Let's see here.
So the pictures
We
are
have,
probably what I think I want you guys to all hyper or focus on to start, and the Houndoom. So the
Okay.
Houndoom is a Ribbon Master, I believe,
yes, I see.
or very nearly a Ribbon Master.
Very least in
No,
Gen 3,
it is
I think.
so it's a Ribbon Master from Pokemon XD. And you know, since you can't get shiny Houndoom, this is as close as you can get to like a very rare Pokemon from XD. But the story that goes along with it is it's named after their real life dog who helped him with his proposal to his
Yes.
fiance.
I think I caught up on you mentioning this one in the Best Dressed channel. So I'm passingly familiar with the story of this one.
Yeah, so they got the Houndoom around the same time that COVID started, which was also the same time they got their beautiful dog Indiana. We have a picture here of them. I believe that must be Pokemon Worlds in Anaheim as well. So this is a Pokemon that's kind of went on some journeys. We have this adorable picture of sleeping Houndoom in sleep, making the exact same pose that Indiana does.
It's very
nice. And just like a wonderful picture where Indiana the dog helped with recording the proposal. So that was very cool. And just like very cute pictures of dogs. Who's gonna say no to like really cute pictures of dogs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we got oh wow. Strong showing from Indiana. I think we're doing actually pretty good on time. Hey, I think we have how many left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 or so left. So we've done over half in about an hour and a half. So we're doing really well on time. Let me see if I can pull up this.
There's a few more on the second sheet, right? So
yeah,
maybe
I counted those. There's like 3 more on that sheet.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Why don't we take a quick peek? They shared this with us. This is the footage that Indiana recorded of their proposal. I don't know. I mean, they shared it with us. They said we can use anything on stream. Let's see what they got. Indiana, And just headcanon, this is a Houndoom, I suppose. Dog cam is so cute.
That's very nice. It was very touching.
Very, very sweet, Seaside. Thank you for sharing that with us. I think you know what? Everybody had a hard time in 2020. I'm glad that the puppy helped you get through it. And thank you for sharing your journey with us. Very, very sweet. Okay, that was 84? 84. Up next. 84 is high. Change color. Up next, we got Cookie. Cookie with a big submission for us. Toast, could we get an overview, and then maybe we'll divide and conquer reading up on this team here?
Yeah, we got all brilliant dress whites. We've got Lady Shizuka, the triumphant admiral. Cheesecake, the golden dawn. Logic, Logially and Cineir gain many attacks. I will not read out the initialism of that.
The Ligma?
Hydranus of the ocean's foam.
Ligma what?
Lamb
Toasty?
Chop, the chosen. And Firing Squad, the mended family mousehold.
I'm just letting people who are kind of on deck for being judged know that we're going to be getting to them shortly. But if you guys start the reading, then I'll try to catch up as fast as I can.
You got
I do see we have some nice marks here. We have the joyful mark on Meowstick and the destiny mark for Lamb Chop, the Whimsicott.
Yep, we got a fully ribbon mastered Gardevoir from XD Gale of Darkness. Apparently has been to Knott's Berry Farm as well.
Ooh.
Joji has successfully gone ahead and renamed their Sinistcha to 6-7, the reliable partner. As they say, they did not intend to make a 6-7 joke in their submission, but if it's going to knock them out of the top standings, they might as well get something out of it.
We go back and take off more points for that now, or is it too late?
No, we have to be impartial. We have to be objective.
Yeah, right.
I already docked a point for the psychic damage caused by the 6-7 joke, so.
Got a shiny Hisuian Samurott that was almost reset over, but then kept because they got a shiny Destiny Mark Piplup in the same sandwich.
Mm.
That would be in the terrarium's polar biome.
Cool. And then it's I think that's like one of the really cool things that we're going to be missing out on with this like lack of backwards compatibility with ZA is that ability to catch a Pokemon in Scarlet Violet and then evolve it in ZA.
Yeah, definitely like the fact that you can have like a Cleavor from Scarlet and Violet that evolved in Arceus, I think is
Arceus, yeah. Yeah, I think like that's really cool. Oh my goodness, my throat.
Yeah. Maybe Cleavor is a bad example because you can evolve it in both games, but you know.
Mm-hmm. But like, okay, Hisui and Typhlosion, just being like one of those Pokemon where you can catch it in the terrarium and then evolve it in Legends Arceus
Yeah.
is really cool. Okay, so big thing that we have here is we have Gardevoir is a Ribbon Master. One of those things that we were looking for. As far as being best dressed goes, doesn't get
I do
much
see we also have
better
the other.
dressed than a Gardevoir. We have sorry.
I see we also have a leaf crown on this one. Just by going
Are
through
we
the
looking at
images.
pictures here?
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. Let me load these up. Leaf crown is points. Oh, these are some good pictures. I think I sent. Yes, I liked this picture. This picture is art. One with like the black and white background.
Yeah.
There's some great Gardevoir pictures. I think that it's a shame that we don't get random little things like that as much in some of the new games. We can take pictures with all of our Pokemon, but I almost feel like the pre-generated ones give something that's like, since you don't have 100% control over it, it's a little bit less frustrating to get the perfect picture. You just get it given to you.
Yeah,
I don't know.
definitely.
But Leaf Crown is
Yeah.
awesome. Great picture of Meowstic.
Yeah, those cool portrait outlines are actually based on the PID.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's like it'll do one of 6 colors and then one of 3 tints based on the Pokemon's PID, and so even if you do the same species, you're unlikely to get the exact same cool painting each time.
That's really cool. I did not know that. So this is like likely one of the only times we've ever seen this Gardevoir artwork. That's super cool. We also have some highlights here. They caught Ligma and Lamb Chop on stream.
Yeah. I do like that they like 5 out of 6 of these team members were all brought on a trip to Knott's Berry Farm, and apparently Firing Squad and Ligma were named by strangers just at Knott's Berry Farm.
I cannot believe that a stranger was like, Mousehold, I don't know, Firing Squad. I guess that's so that's so crazy because there's 4 of them. Oh my goodness. It's quite the personal connection. Quite the personal connection. I'm gonna give 3 for I watched some of the stream highlights last night. So very cool. Personal connection. Going out of your way to get nicknames from strangers is definitely a way to make memorable connections with your Pokemon. And just having a Pokemon from all the way back, as far back as you can go, from the GameCube is definitely really cool. And then as a Ribbon Master, I'm going to give a perfect 10. Ribbon Master plus Crown. That's what I've been looking for. Giving us a total of 78 for Cookie. Thank you so much for the submission, Cookie. What a lovely group of Pokemon that you've brought along with you. How did the tournament end up going for you? 78. Cool. And then up next, Toast, could we get a cover here of Kanye?
Yeah, so we've got Ribbon Masters, Dragonite the Childhood Friend, Raichu the Event Premium, Politoed the Contest Master, Decidueye the Perfect, Basculin the Time Traveler, and Tyranitar the Stubborn.
Yeah, one of the things that I thought was really cool that I noted yesterday was the Decidueye is from Sun and Moon. But then it has the Hisui ribbon on it.
Yep.
So they kept it as a Dartrix all the way up until it was able to step into Hisui to grab that ribbon, which I thought was pretty nifty.
We've got a Politoed evolved from their first Poliwag back during the initial wave of Pokemon Go, which you could not evolve into Politoed back then.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just had to step away from something.
All good.
All right, so where are we at now?
We've got we're on a sheet 158.
Great.
Yes. I really like the Politoed being just their first Poliwag from Pokemon Go. Pokemon from
Argamax.
2016 are less and less common these days in Pokemon Go. Niantic kept giving us more and more incentives to like trade them with friends. So just holding on to your original 2016 Pokemon and then turning it into a competitively viable or Politoed is really cool. I think one thing that's worth noting is, it's not a shiny, but there was also just no way to get a shiny in Pokemon Go back then. So if you want to use some of your original Pokemon Go Pokemon, the non-shinies are what you have to use. And then I did reach out to TSP just to confirm the ribbon count on Tyranitar. They just miscounted. It is a Ribbon Master with a size mark. So this is
I was gonna say that should be a 93.
Yeah. So I confirmed that with them. But this is a shiny hunted Pokemon Coliseum and XD Ribbon Master Tyranitar.
That is very nice. So of course, we have seen quite a few shiny Coliseum Pokemon, but I think all of them have been admittedly RNG'd up until now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
very cool.
That's a size mark that cannot go to Legends Arceus, which traditionally,
That's
if
how
you're
you would have gotten
gonna
it.
if you're gonna size mark hunt
Yeah.
a Pokemon from the 3DS era, you'd like to go to Legends Arceus so you can see the size in the summary, like the height and weight.
Yeah. So this
And
one would have
so-
actually been manually confirmed.
Yeah, if you do one that can't go to Legends Arceus, you have to go to Mesa Goza and be like, is this one big? Is this one big? Is this one big? Is this one big? It's very tedious. So I respect the grind.
Yeah. I'm guessing you've probably already commented this as well, but also the Decidueye Alolan variant getting the time traveling past ribbon.
Yeah, that was one of the first things that I kind of
notable.
noted is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that I was kind of missing out on there is I gave a perfect 10. I don't think that it gets much rarer than a like personally shiny hunted shiny Pokemon from Pokemon Coliseum.
Yeah,
so
and then going the extra mile to do the size mark as well.
Yeah. The Destiny mark on the Basculegion, that's that you can only get in the pond in the Timeless Woods, and Basculin is pretty tricky to hunt there because if you use a sandwich, it's filled with other water types, and if you want an outbreak, it has to pick that pond, and then it has to pick Basculin as the Pokemon that spawns, and so the outbreaks are really rare. And so getting a just any shiny Basculin is always a tricky business, but then to go for the Destiny mark as well. Of course, we have the special ribbon on the Raichu as well.
And this is one of the only Pokemon where, getting that gender matters. Not only are you getting a Destiny marked shiny in an area where you're not really able to highlight a specific species with a sandwich, but then you're looking for a specific gender as well. So very cool.
And the special ribbon on the Raichu, so that is, I believe, the most recent special ribbon distribution they've done, which was the Kibo Pikachu in Sword and Shield. They have not rerun the special ribbon since. Well, they did in ZA, but that's a whole mess. So, so Kibo's Pikachu is the like that shows you how like the special ribbon is pretty rare among event ribbons. Like it's not the rarest, but it's one they only bust out very occasionally, usually for like I think Pokemon Cafe Pokemon usually have it, but other than that, that's a pretty uncommon title with the premium from that ribbon.
Cool. Yeah, I think that like seeing something like that as a Alolan Raichu would have been, I think, like a step towards being even cooler. But the initial encounter, it's not docking. We can't. It's impossible to dock any points. We already gave 10s. At least Morgan and I did. I can't dock any points on it not being Alolan.
Well, that's the thing is, I think you would have to do. I think.
Oh wait, no, this is a Sword
Gen
and
7
Shield
Pokemon Cafe.
No,
Yeah,
okay.
this one can't be.
This was Sword and Shield event, so it can't be. You're right.
Yeah,
I thought that it was Sun and Moon, but no, that's a really cool ribbon. I think that the variety of event ribbons is really interesting, just because there's so few of them. 87. I think that if I had personally seen like a couple more notes on why the Pokemon were personally valuable, that would have probably put us that probably would have hit like the 89. But I don't know if I saw anything really other than obviously running through all of the games and doing a Ruin Master, you build a personal connection with the Pokemon, but I just didn't see anything that like really pushed me any further. But 87 is such a good score. Very, very cool. And yeah, they did. Let me see. Did they get back to me on this? No. Yeah, but that's super cool. 2 years to shiny hunt it, and then who knows how long to Ruin Master. What a Pokemon. That Tyranitar is so nifty. Okay. 87. I think that is tied. Was that tied with Joji now?
I
Could be.
think so.
I think so.
Quickly check.
And then since our scores are in, they're saying that the size mark was random. I don't know what the odds of that actually is. Were there any other glitches
That's
that could have
about
made
one
maximum
in-
size? Because that can't be right. It's like 1 in 1,600 or something, or 1 in 16,000.
Yeah, it would be 1 in 16,000 to get the max size first time. So if that is the case, that is absurd luck.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think we wouldn't be penalizing you for
not having it.
farming it
Yeah.
and like trying to do it, like hunting it essentially. So either way, that's still very awesome to have. And again, we've already given you 10s for that. We can't
go any
bump it
higher.
than that.
Yeah, that is such a cool Pokemon. And the 100 times victorious, of course. Definitely worth showing off. Next up, we have Tronito, who has submitted a PDF document for us.
I had a bit of a talk with Venti on this one. I think he's a little bit skeptical on some stuff about this.
So I reached out to the owner or the guy who made the document. A lot of their Coliseum shinies are RNG'd.
Mm-hmm.
So they did submit they submitted a picture where they have a bunch of shiny Coliseum
I do have
Pokemon.
Yeah, he did reach out to me with an updated PDF version. He said he uploaded a wrong version.
Oh, okay. If you could send that to the group chat here so I can open it. One note that we
in the other channel, but this is it.
One note that we had was well, a lot of the Pokemon were RNG'd. The 3 starters were ones that he shiny hunted himself. And the nest ball on Bayleaf, if Venti's asking about that, obviously like the starters, Venti, you pick one starter and you can hunt the others later on. So you can trade balls in to hunt the starters. They're one of the only Pokemon that you can choose to hunt later on because you only pick one of them to start.
Yeah, you can hunt it in Snag'em Hideout after you get access to Nest Ball.
Yeah.
Oh, is there a screenshot that says it was Med and Phenac?
I don't think so. I think it's just like we just have a screenshot submitted of
Oh, it is next to Makuhita in the box, which seems to be in order, but
it could also just be in order of maybe how they appear. Unfortunately, we can't really try to dig into 100% vetting every single Pokemon. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to go off of their word. This is a pretty well formatted little piece of information. But it's ordered by Bulbapedia order of the shadow Pokemon. That's what they're saying. Very cool. That being said, we do have some pretty cool Pokemon on here. I don't know if they answered, but it seems like they're in chat here. Did you, for the vibe points, this was important to me. Did you bait strat your Dratini? It's an important question for the vibe points, but this is something that they hunted throughout the pandemic, was their shiny Safari Zone Dragonite, which was evolved from a Safari Ball Dragon Dratini. Was the video even out yet? The document was out. The bait strat was released in 2019. And the video was released, I think, like June 2020. So the bait strat was known by 2020. It was just like, I think it might have only been a PDF file at that point.
Yeah, we've got the Pokemon Ranger Riolu egg for the Lucario.
We do have a original childhood shiny Pelipper though, which is very cool. We do also have confirmation they don't know what the bait strat is, so I think that's gonna affect my vibe points a little bit. But I do love this like original childhood shiny Pelipper Felipe. That's a really cool Pokemon. We have a shiny hunted shiny Bayleaf caught with a nest ball. So you have to wait until you're late into the game to shiny hunt the Bayleaf with a nest ball. Otherwise, you're kind of just limited to the Pokeballs you get at the start of the game. And then they started by shiny hunting a few Pokemon, and then they've moved on to ribbon mastering ones after that. I think one of the things that we need to maybe focus on is like which 3 Pokemon are going to be offering us the highest point total. It's tough.
I think assuming Dragonite was hunted and not like RNG'd, that's got to be like a pretty solid contender for a Safari Ball shiny, you know.
For sure. Yeah. I
I
think
think
a Safari
the
Ball
first
shiny
3.
is a first 3. Yeah, I think it's cool to note that the King Gambit is from the Pokemon Dream World. That might be our first submission that is just straight up directly from the Dream World and not a breed.
Wasn't the Rotom also from?
No, that was a Dream Radar.
Radar.
So the Dream Radar is the 3DS software. And the Event Lucario. So this is a full team of some very cool Pokemon. Tronito, how did you end up doing during the event while we kind of try to tally up points here? I think the biggest thing I'm going to need is the personal value on these 3. Let me read up here. Okay. I do think that I will have to give the 9 on these being Ribbon Masters. But as far like these are very, very rare Pokemon. And I think that the rarity is kind of lending itself towards the personal connection of being connected to the Pokemon, but I'm not seeing the interpersonal connection. Oh, they stopped at
that's sort of what I was
okay.
deliberating on.
Yeah, so I'm not seeing like these are Pokemon that are very personally valuable. And they were doing all of this while they were studying for school. I think the one thing that I'm missing, and this is not a judgment of their Pokemon journey, it's just something that when it was part of my judging criteria in my head was, do we have Pokemon here that have built a like personal connection with other people? And I think
like
that this
comparatively
is
to the other teams that we've looked at so far, that's like
this
quite
is a very
wide margin.
personal team, which is very cool. And I love the Pokemon. I love Surfing Pikachu, Dream Ball King Gambit. Like reading through about your Dream Ball King Gambit last night, I was like, I need to go find my Stantler. I should call her. The Lucario obviously is just super cool. The one of my favorite Pokemon in my collection is my brother and I's original Eruption Heatran from the Pokemon Ranger games. But I think that if we go ahead and we take this opportunity, take the opportunity of being part of this event, and we build some further connections. If you resubmit this team with some journeys that they've been on in the time since, and we reread this team next time, I think we're going to have a very, very strong contender on our hands. Thank you so much for sharing. Another thing, it is only factoring into the AI score, but I do think that across the board, the panel of judges, when competing for the opportunity to win custom drawn artwork, a submission with AI generated art is probably not the best way to earn vibe points. I don't want to be harsh on anybody, but like if we ever do this again and you're winning art from an artist whose living comes off of like, or part of their living comes off of making art, an AI drawn image is probably not the best.
I mean, like a few submissions back, we had that sketch of the like Mega Floette, and that leaves more of an impression on me than this. You know?
Yeah, I think one thing that I was saying last night when I was reading this, I was like, I would have taken like the worst Photoshop job ever.
Yeah.
Even if it was just like MS Paint, no cropping of any of the images.
Just like the Incineroar staring at like the photorealistic cat in the clouds. That killed us. That was so good.
Yeah. But these are some very, very cool Pokemon. Congratulations on getting all of them. None of these are easy Pokemon to get. The Pichu is one of those Pokemon where you need to like go and catch 1,500 Pokemon. My brother and I have a save file full of Spinda just for getting the Pichu, so I know what that journey is like. And while you're at it, if you ever want to get another Dratini, look up the bait strat. It's worth looking into. But thank you so much for the submission. It was really, really cool learning about your team last night. I really appreciated the insight you had into the rare Pokemon. And this is definitely like a team of rare Pokemon that are all somehow like actually viable with each other, which is cool. Anyways, Toast, could we dive now into Paladino, Daniel Paladino?
Yeah, so we've got the Shock of Generational Friends, Robin of the Icy Look, Alolan Ninetales, El Gatito Elviano del Festival, Incineroar, Big Mom, the Queen of the 7 VGC metas, Kangaskhan, Kamomi, the Conqueror of Mount Lanakila, the Komodo, Zoro from the Primordial Times, Scizor, and Buchada, the new friend, Sinistcha.
We got some pictures going along here. Last night I really vibed with this picture of just Alolan Ninetales surrounded by Alolan Vulpix. I think this just goes to show like you can get a lot of aesthetic out of a minimalist setup. A picture of a screen. Perfect. Love it. And then the these old pictures of Scyther, who then evolved into Scizor in ancient times, is very cool. So let's take a dive in. First and foremost, they have an Ultra Sun Alolan Ninetales. This would be the first generation that it was possible to get Alolan Ninetales. This is as far back as it can go. It is a Ribbon Master, and it was used during their Latin America International Championships competition in 2024.
Nice.
And this was a Pokemon that they bred for, but they got the original parent Pokemon from a friend. So their friend caught an Alolan Vulpix in a love ball for them since they didn't have the right version to get it. And then they bred the Pokemon from the friend, which is pretty cool.
It's very nice.
Yeah. Shiny Litten in 10 eggs.
Mm.
Very nice. And then I do like this. A Scyther that they caught in the virtual console. And then 9 years later, they were able to bring it to Hisui and evolve it without needing to trade with anyone.
And this the Grand Champions Festival is kind of like their first big adventure that they've done together. After getting it with the bug catching contest. That's super cool. This is a very, very cute team of Pokemon. I personally love Alolan Ninetales. Alolan Ninetales and a Love Ball is going to get some strong points from me. And I think that going ahead and getting the parent from a friend and remembering that you got the parent from a friend just shows how like the smallest little thing in the Pokemon community can make a big change in somebody's experience with the games. Yeah. And I think that I'm not going to penalize the Alolan Ninetales too hard on not being from all the way back. I think I'm going to give this one a very strong 8 on the journey since.
Only
Because,
game
But of course,
before that it could
couldn't have
be
done
from.
earlier.
is Sun and Moon, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like, and they could have even brought it to Sun and Moon if they'd felt like it. So yeah, very, very strong showing. 73 points. We are, if you're looking at like, I want everybody to know, don't look at your scores today in the vacuum of the teams that were scoring today. Last night I went through about 200 teams and whittled it down to 20, right? So just by being on stream today, you are already like in that top 10% of Pokemon that were submitted. So it's like, even if you are in the middle of the pack for the Pokemon we look at or the teams we review today, you're still like so far ahead of the curve. So congratulations on just getting this far. Could we get a quick look? Daniel, thank you for that. Let's get a quick look at Skybro, and I'm going to let the next few competitors know that they are up on deck.
All right, so I'll take over the team overview for here. We have Bugs, and more Bugs from Skybro. So first up, we have Tickets, she who is trying her best, the Beedrill, very interesting Pokemon, don't think we've seen her on any team yet. We have Sun, the Problem Child, Volcarona. We have Charbadis, she who could have been normal but chose not to, or Aquanids. Nyarlathotep, Demon of the Sleep Paralysis variety, Vivian. We have Hamilton, Lover of Musicals and Democracy, it's like Cleavor. And very much playing to the judges here, we have Toaster, the Bane of Grain Caesar. So this is
Toaster the Caesar.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember reading this team. This is a mono bug.
Yep, that's the thing. This is a mono bug team, Bugs, and more Bugs. Very apt title for this.
A
very great commitment to a monotype team. I don't think we've actually seen any monotype teams out of the ones we've judged so far. So that's a interesting novelty.
Before I jump back, am I going to be correct in one of these is a Sport Ball Heart Gold Soul Silver Pokemon, correct?
That is correct. Yes, the Beedrill.
Yeah. Okay. Reading this last night, I was like, that is cool. The only way to get a Sport Ball Pokemon with any of the Gen 4 ribbons is to have got it in the bug catching contest, and then building an entire mono bug team around it is super cool.
I mean, Sports Ball in general, that's a very rare ball because it was only available from Heart Gold and Soul Silver up until, I want to say, was it very rarely available in Sword and Shield? And then
it was one in 1,000 from the Cramomatic if you if you have different colors of apricorns in there.
And there wasn't even any kind of guaranteed way to get it, like the ball guy giving you the apricorn balls. That is basically like probably the rarest item to actually have in Sword and Shield alongside the Safari Ball.
Yeah, so just this might be like one of the few Sport Ball Pokemon submitted in the entire event.
Yeah, I was going to say as well, I don't think we've seen any Sports Ball Pokemon even available from later generations.
No. And then like Mono Bug, we got First Impression Araquanid. I'm gonna be given vibe points just because I absolutely love Vivian. And then they went ahead. It looks like they hatched Scyther and Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and then evolved it into Cleavor. So just overall,
running both evolutions of Scyther here as well. It's not something we really see.
oh, then okay.
Yeah, I will
Actually,
say
I
just
definitely
a
haven't seen that.
little cowardice to use bench resets to get shiny alpha Scizor, but better than or you know, I think more interesting than just getting it from hyperspace.
Also, very good chance that it was got before. If they liked bugs this much, I would be willing to put money on the fact that they probably got it before DLC was out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toaster's a shiny alpha got from AFK bench resets. And you know what? As the person who was the first to discover the AFK bench strat, I'm not going to deduct any points for AFK bench strat. I actually kind of like that it exists. The bench pressing method, as I tried to coin it and failed. Bench pressing method is kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, I am liking Volcarona the Early Riser. Very good title.
Especially with First Impression.
It's a little bit hard to tell from the black and white photo, but I think is this the polar pattern?
It's polar. That's the only one that has the white spots on the wings there.
I think I was catching up on some of the stuff you were saying in the other channel last night. I think they might have mentioned they got this one because it's like kind of looks like the Ultra Wormhole pattern. Like
yeah,
kind of
no, that was a different one. There was somebody else who had one in a Beast Ball. Somebody had one in a Beast Ball.
All right, makes sense.
I will say I liked the number of Vivians.
Name. Yeah.
One of the tasks I've given myself for my flight to and from Korea is to finish my Korean Icy Snow Vivian from 2017. It was the first shiny hunt I ever actually did. So I have a special place in my heart for Vivian. Full mono bug team. I think that everybody can agree that is immediately like 3 vibe points. It looks like we already have maximum vibe points on the stream. So yeah, go ahead, get the rest of the points in here. I think that I gave full 10 on the Ribbon Master Beedrill. I don't think that I'm going to deduct any points on not having a Pokemon from Coliseum and XD when they Ribbon Master.
I'm going up to 9 for the initial encounter for the Sports War Beedrill because that is just such a very unique Pokemon that we haven't seen like represented at all.
You've convinced me.
Beedrill is one of those Pokemon that I don't think gets the Master Rank ribbon because it wasn't in Sword and Shield, and I don't think it was in Scarlet and Violet.
Nope.
And
so yeah, that's
the
that's the other really interesting thing is Beedrill along with like Pidgeot and Castform are some of like the only pre-Gen 5 Pokemon that weren't in either like any of the Switch titles other than BDSP.
Weirdly excluded, yeah. And I guess also like Let's Go Pikachu, of course, but like Beedrill and Pidgeot, but yeah.
And they're not getting ribbons, and also we would not be talking about Sport Ball Beedrill from Let's Go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is an awesome team, and that looks like it's reflected by the 84. An extremely competitive score. 84, I think that I was probably looking for one more. Actually, you know what? Let me review this because by the time I put some of these scores in last night, it was really late. I actually don't think I read the journey since first meeting portion of Beedrill. So let me just quickly read this. Tickets a part of my goal to catch a shiny from every type. Okay. Yeah, no. So I wasn't sure. I saw the word first VGC tournament. I wasn't sure if this was like a Pokemon they used in any other tournaments. This is a Pokemon that is like part of their team for this being their first VGC tournament. So I think that all 3 judges coming to an even score of 28 across the board, 28 out of a maximum 33 is extremely good showing. Thank you so much for showing us your team there, Skybro. Awesome. Let me get that highlighted in blue. And what do we have up next? We got Strider with
Yeah. How
grizzled
many more
veterans
do
from
we have
age past.
left at the
1,
moment? I haven't
2,
counted the
3,
second sheet.
4, 5. I think we have 7 more.
All right. I'm just checking because I probably need to start like ordering food at some point for time that so we can get this done first.
Sure. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 on the second sheet, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 9 left to do today.
All right.
Which
I think
we're
we can
doing
finish
pretty
cracking
good.
these out. I'll
Yeah.
probably want to try and take a break to eat something, and then
And
we can sort of
can.
reconvene and work out. So
I think that's a
presenting the
good
final
idea.
things.
I think that's a good idea. So we get these
So
done.
once we're done with this, we'll know who our top like 5 are or whatever we need to present.
Yep. And then we'll try to convene with Scraw or somebody in production on like if we want to do any
what
sort
they
of
need, like if
yeah.
they need from us or like just the
if we
basic
can
info.
just send them to MP4 or something. Very cool. Okay. Entry number 197. We got grizzled veterans from age past. Toast, could we get a quick team overview here while I get these pictures loaded up?
Yeah, we've got Lizardon, the lifelong ally, Fushigibana, the loyal partner, Gaugin, the birthday wish, Onula of the distant past, Gaburias, the platinum powerhouse, and a washed-up Rotom.
Ooh, they got custom artwork here
Oh,
of
that's
shiny
very nice.
Charizard. That's looking pretty sick. And then we got one more image for me to try to load up here. Dun, dun, dun. And we have a picture of this Charmander all the way back. It looks like that must be Emerald. So it was bred in Pokemon Emerald, potentially.
Yeah, first encounter hatched over 6,000 eggs to get it as a kid because they didn't know about RNG manipulation. Very valid.
Which I think is way cooler. Also, got 40th at 2022 NAIC, which is super cool. That's
very cool.
I'm given right out of the gate, this being a childhood Pokemon that has also had like a high placement at NAIC. I'm gonna put a 9.
I'm seeing as well, they also have a fire red leaf green shiny Venusaur, and it says they got it in a trade with a schoolyard friend.
Yes, and that was the other reason I was thinking 9 is like, there's our interpersonal thing. I only wonder if they remember the name. I only wonder if we quizzed them, if they remember who it was.
I also wonder if the person they traded with knew it was shiny, or if they just like
they scammed
finessed this child for a shiny Venusaur. I was wondering, like, what did you trade for the Venusaur? Do you remember? Because that also would factor into whether this was an equivalent sort of deal.
Let me see.
Classic story here.
Mr. McCreathen followed, and the lab has grown.
We've got the person who looked for Garchomp in the visible entrance to Wayward Cave as a kid. Before learning of the hidden entrance. The hidden entrance that they seal off with strength boulders as well in one of the versions.
That cave is so messed up, dude.
Yeah.
I will say I do kind of like the fact that they used to hide the pseudos like hidden, but it was pretty messed up how hidden Gipite was. But I think it's also kind of cool because then it does mean that maybe one of the first times you see Garchomp is just when Cynthia rocks you. Anyways. Yeah, I like the childhood shinies. I think those are super cool. I'm gonna give some high points. High points on childhood hatched shiny Charmander. Oh, and it's a Ribbon Master.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oof.
That is a very solid across the board.
Now, I think before I hand out my vibe point, I'm just going to see if I can get a confirmation on if this artwork of Charizard was like something that they commissioned or just something they found. Okay, and it looks like we're gonna try to get them here. I want to ask them a couple of questions about the team. I think that it's just there's some cool things that were on here, but we can probably, while we wait for that, hop over to our next one, and then we'll circle back here before I hand out my
Looks like they've
vibe point.
responded.
Okay. Ooh, this is a big one. We have a Google document for this because we have Venti. I'm familiar with a lot of these Pokemon, but maybe we could have a quick team overview from someone while I show off some of these pictures.
Yep, I can take hand of that. So yeah, Venti is a very a prominent OG within the whole ribbon community. So I think me and Toasty are both quite familiar as well. We have there's a lot of text there actually. It's kind of covering it up. We have Fango, the world's first Fango Ribbon Master. So I can't open the full text thing. World's first shiny shadow.
Oh, here, let me do
Swine,
this for you. I'll fix it.
Yeah.
There, you should be able to open it now.
Yeah, there we go. So Fango is the world's first shiny shadow Piloswine, and Celebi's bittersweet time capsule, as described here. And this is a Mamoswine now. We have a Mega Donut, the shining serpent from the dawn of VGC, the Milotic. We have Estanine, the wondrous contender of endless potential, a Sylveon. Chromie, the fairy woman of Gala's Ribbon Masters, Dragapult. Fructose, the fastest Snorlax speedrunner known to man and mon, Snorlax. And Porom, the cosmic backbone of a brilliant shining champion team, Clefable. So as mentioned, yes, this Mamoswine was a shiny Pokemon from shiny shadow Pokemon from Colosseum, and is, as far as we're aware, documented the first successful shiny hunt of this Pokemon. So that's a very, very interesting Pokemon to have as a Ribbon Master.
What is this?
I think that's one of the more standout members on the team.
Omega Donut. We have a video submitted of nicknaming Omega Donut here.
Oh yes, because this one was a Cherish Ball, also VGC related event Pokemon, I believe.
Wait, how was it nicknamed? Was this, did you RN or TID the I? It must have RNG'd the TID.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have had to be in Gen 4 because they're very lax on renaming as long as you can match the trainer ID. So that would have allowed you to do it, I believe.
Okay. Here's what we got. We have, let me pull this up here. Okay. Oopsie. I've had your camera not visible, Morgan. I'm so sorry. Man. Okay. I am fully familiar with the story of Fango, the Colosseum Mamoswine. So I can probably give the spark notes, but Venti shiny hunted this Mamoswine with the dream of one day having like a floit, as it's called, a first live on YouTube, first recorded instance of getting a specific shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Colosseum. So to answer the question whether or not they chose to seek it out, it was definitely seeked out. Do we have any pictures? Any special stops? Here's one thing. Japanese Coliseum every game. And there is a shiny leaf picture. This is one of the pictures that I was looking for. Did you do anything that was outside of the requirements? So Fango has a golden leaf.
Very nice.
Stopped in a few different games. So this is a big one. Morgan, I think, did you read through this earlier?
I didn't go through the full PDF. I was still sort of catching up on that by the time we started this.
We started. Okay. I think that the Cherish Ball Milotic kind of is a Pokemon that I know they have a very special connection to, because this is the one from their first VGC tournament, which was in Nashville. So if we were looking for a Pokemon with like a real life, personal in life connection, this is definitely one of them.
Mm-hmm.
They also have a picture from. Venti, did you take this picture? Did you take these photos, Steven? That's crazy. I've never seen these pictures.
Really?
So these are pictures
Whoa.
that
On
were
the
taken
DSi.
from a DSi of the event giveaway of Milotic.
Is that also a picture of like the event distribution cartridge being like run?
That's
there?
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's not a standard GBA cartridge. Wow.
I will.
It's so crazy to see this stuff documented, because it just generally people didn't do that. Like, people weren't thinking about that kind of thing at the time. So it's very fun to see like this snapshot of history like preserved effectively.
Mm-hmm. Another
And
interesting
preserved
thing
in such crisp DSi camera quality.
Kiki, who is another one of our players who kind of reached the top of the charts right now, or they are currently the leading competitor for the best dressed team, traded Pokemon with Venti when Venti sent over the Eevee that Kiki has been competing with, and they shared mail with each other, which is a very little used feature of any of the games. I love girl. I love Eevee too. Yay, Eevee. Rare. Thank you. Friend power. This Eevee is treasure, isn't it? Stock prices are incredible. The Dow is over. You is the real treasure. That's like a very, very sweet letter. That's awesome. And number 3, we have a Cherish Ball event Sylveon from the 2010 VGC event. So this is
effectively the brother of the Glaceon Frost Shard that Kiki was using.
Wow. And these are all Ribbon Masters as well. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. We are going to score the top 3 here. I think that the first 3 that we have submitted are our top 3. So
yeah,
let's get our scoring in. Ooh. Let me go back. I think if I gave a 10 to the shiny Tyranitar, I have to also give a 10 to a shiny Coliseum Piloswine.
That's hard to deny.
Yeah. Journey Since, they are Ribbon Masters. We also have pictures of a Leaf Crown. We also have very detailed stories here.
I'm conflicted here in a sense, because obviously I have to be very aware of the fact that this is I'm already kind of familiar with some of these Pokemon, and like the trainer submitting them, so there is that element of bias I have to address. But at the same time, again, this is again a very such a
I mean,
solid
this
submission.
is hitting every note that we were looking for.
This is everything we were looking for. It's like, I think that the precedent has been set. We have scored a individually hunted shiny shadow Pokemon, or like really almost any Pokemon that was just like hunted in some of those older games at 1-8 and 192 is generally leading towards that 10.
Exactly, yeah.
The Journey Since, I've been very clear about, like, if
we've already said that a shiny hunted, like legit shadow shiny, that's got to be a 10, right? Because that is such a it's a difficult hunt. It's a very rewarding one. It comes with a very specific like reward to it because that's the only way to get that specific ribbon on a Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And again, with Journey as well. I mean, we have these images of like collecting this Milotic at a VGC event, and the shiny Eevee as well, and the element of trading it out to friends. It is like I say,
you know what?
it's
I think that
hitting
like
every note.
the interpersonal thing is one of the things that I've definitely been hitting people on in that like personal connection score. The fact that we have proof here that like this is a Pokemon that is not just part of a story of one person and is part of stories of multiple people. I think that is probably also gonna put me up to a 10 there. Like it comes down, and then we have art of these Pokemon. We have very, very cool pictures of them going on adventures together in these other games, eating sandwiches. Like I don't know if I can do anything other than offer like a perfect score. It feels weird, but the precedent has been set where I can't think of anything to hit this team for.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm gonna be the stickler in the mud here to give a 9 for personal connection, because I do feel like we have seen some teams that like went just like a little bit the extra mile on some like the very deep interpersonal like connections and memories related to their Pokemon, but still this team is already just doing so much in every other
They did
area.
write like close to 9,000 words
Box8
here
followed and
about
the
their
lap has
team.
grown.
Yeah,
So
true as well.
honestly,
So I mean, like in that regard as well. So, I mean, it has to be 3 for the vibe.
I think that a 98 out of a grand total possible 99 is definitely something that I don't think anybody's going to fault us on for here. I think that any other panel of judges would come to the same conclusion based off of the judging criteria that we have. Meaning that we are now sitting at, I'm going to give this, what did I give the other one?
The
Green.
Beaver's Pants
green
just
color.
rated with 4 viewers.
Oh, that is quite the team, though. We have 2 event Pokemon from some of the earliest VGC tournaments that are now competing in some of the biggest VGC tournaments of all time. We have a ribbon mastered shiny Mamoswine from as far back as you can go. This Pokemon would have needed to touch Colosseum, Fire Red Leaf Green, Ruby Sapphire, or like, so it would have bare minimum needed to touch Colosseum, Fire Red, Ruby, Platinum, Black, and then like Sun, Oras, Y, Sword Shield. I don't know what other games it's allowed in, but like it's probably been to at least 10 different games.
Snorlax as well, to briefly touch on from like scanning the document. This is also apparently, again, as far as we're aware, the first recorded Gen 8 Shadow Ribbon Master. So the first Pokemon in Sword and Shield to have every single available ribbon.
Yeah, I think
that's another notable thing for this team.
I think that you've definitely set a very high bar for the last, what are we at? I think 7 teams now, Steven. Let's jump into team number 207 here. We have Micaiah the Brave, aka Alto. Could we get a quick overview from you there, Morgan? And I'll take some pictures, or look at some pictures here.
It's as it says it's Micaiah time. Micaiah the Knight who protects. We have a Gardevoir. We have Talon the high-flying Talonflame. We have Mousy the Bitey, a Mousehold. Amelia the Alpha Garchomp. All caps, Fish the Exploding Basculesian. And also all caps, Big Man the Big Man, the Incineroar. See, scan the document here. We do have also a few other big all caps.
Yeah, we've got another Route 102 shiny Gardevoir.
Oh,
we have a picture here,
nice.
Submitted here at the end of the document of that Gardevoir in Pokemon Coliseum, and I'm
Yes.
or
You
this might be
gotta love
XD.
those like
I
different shiny color
love the
palettes.
purple shiny on Gardevoir.
Mm.
These are some of like these are some really nice pictures of this Gardevoir. Crazy to see another Route 102. Do we have any information on if that was shiny hunted or if it was
They do seem to say that it was shiny.
Says it was
hunted.
a hunt.
shiny
Yeah.
hunted after months of shiny hunting? Yeah. Can't hit that with anything other than what we've been giving that before, which I believe was a 10.
Yeah, brought it to a Yu-Gi-Oh judge tournament and did the battle tower there, and managed to win both the battle tower run and the judge tournament.
That was Team 108. I think I gave that a 9. But I'll stay consistent on that.
Oh, did you check? What did I give it?
Yeah, you two both gave it 10. I think
Okay,
I was a little bit
perfect.
the sticker on that
Consistency,
one, but
consistency.
still,
Yes.
yeah, still very good.
Extra in-game stops. It stopped by the Pokestar Studio to put on a little show.
Gotta love that.
Every
5 points for
legally
that.
obtainable ribbon except for the master rank ribbon and some of the contest ribbons. They just didn't have time to beat BDSP yet. But for me personally, I don't think I'm gonna hold that against them. I think that is stopping in and doing the Pokestar Studio probably ate into their time. And you can't go back and redo the Pokestar Studio. So that's pretty cool. Right. Strider. One of the questions I was issuing my vibe points, I was going to ask this picture of Charizard. Did you commission this artwork or draw it yourself, or is it just, did you find it online? It's only going to determine my personal vibe points. All of the other judges have put things in. I think the other questions we had were, do you remember what you traded for your Venusaur and who you traded with? Mousehold. They got a family of 3. They eventually just gave up on shiny hunting the family of 3, or shiny hunting the Mousehold, but they got a family of 3.
That's valid. Fair enough.
Oh shoot! Clicking buttons.
Special notes: do not let them into the kitchen. They will drink all the soup. Okay.
Gardevoir is based on a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon OC of the same name. A woman who will fight for what's right, put herself over far needed for those she cares about. Very cool. I like the special notes. I'll probably go back and reread a lot of the special notes from people because I think that the little headcanons from people are really cute about Pokemon.
Yeah, lots of fun little flavor text in here.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a Garchomp that bit Arceus and won.
And let me see. A strong score. You found it about 3 months ago. Wait, which one? Received this one in a trade from a friend who was trading in her Leaf Green cartridge. Oh, they mean the art. Oh, the art. Okay. Yes, the art was found. Okay. Yeah. In that case,
nice.
It's a very cool team. And give 2 vibe points, giving you a total of 87. And Strider extremely strong scoring. Extremely strong. Wait, no, 87 was that? Pink, maybe. 80s is pink. No, 80s is blue. How was I color coding this? 80s is blue. Okay. But 87 out of a possible 99 puts you in that, like, you're probably in the top 5% there, Strider. Thank you so much. If you go back in the stream, we looked through your team. We had a great time reviewing it. Thank you for sharing it with us. Yeah. And then 87 is extremely strong for Micaiah. I think that just having that full odds Gen 3 shiny Gardevoir, I can't believe we saw 3 of them. 5% encounter rate. Crazy Pokemon. Okay, we got I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 left. So let's go right into it. We got Dynamo. Let me load up the pictures and maybe we can get a quick introduction. Oh, there's no pictures. Quick introduction here from you there, Toast.
All right, we've got the Ariados Admirer. We've got Charlotte the Ariados, Incineroar, the long-awaited Floette Eternal, Snorlax, Basculegion, and Como.
There is probably almost the character limit on the introduction of our Ariados Charlotte. I loved the name of Charlotte just because, come on, like that's a classic spider nickname for sure. Oh, and then we have the answer. Strider said that they had a friend named Christopher that they went to school with. They traded a Pidgey for his Venusaur before he traded his game into GameStop. So it ended up getting rescued from disappearing
that's
into the
very
void.
nice. Okay.
That's very cool.
That was a fair trade then. Do you know if he knew it was shiny at the time? That was the other thing I was wondering about. Like, I think the fact that he like chose to trade it away before trading his game in, I think that does signify that it was at least very important to them.
And they nicknamed it in Gen 8 when it became available to like nickname a Pokemon that didn't have a nickname. That's really cool. That is one of like the really cool accessibility things for Gen 8, but also a really cool accessibility thing, I think, for Champions. There is almost no Pokemon that exists in Champions that you could not immediately turn into like its most competitively viable version, which is really, really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good. They did buff Toxic Thread for what that's worth.
Yeah. So this one is majorly kind of propped up. We have a cool full odds Ariados from Gen 2. Did anybody get the chance to kind of read all the way through it? This is one of the ones where it was like 2 in the morning. And I was like, I think that we'll be able to look at this tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm just having a bit of a scan through it now.
Another note here was that their Heart Gold Still Silver. Like growing up, they didn't really like or their parents didn't really let them do any gaming. So they ended up like having to wait a little bit of extra time to be able to play with the Pokewalker and everything. But Go kind of helped them lean into playing Pokemon a little bit more, which is cool.
Okay, so I can see this was this Ariados came from catching a shiny Kakuna, and then doing the shiny gene breeding to get the shiny Ariados in a virtual console.
Okay, so there was a full edge shiny involved, but this one was not the full edge shiny.
And this is the Munchlax from Winner's Path, which was that event exclusive Pokewalker route.
The explosion
cool.
one. Cool.
Now with Champions,
self-destruct.
They don't have to worry about the IVs anymore.
Cool. Okay. Initial encounter. I think this was like one of the first virtual console ones we've seen, which is very cool to see.
Yeah, I think we've seen a couple here and there, but I think this might be one of the like first shinies, excluding like Coin Case Glitch. Yeah, and that origin for a Munchlax Pokewalker is very cool as well. I'll give that an 8.
Yeah, we've got a couple of Alola Ribbon Masters.
It's cool to see that Snorlax as well has a sort of smattering of ribbons, which I feel like is kind of a normal experience for people to have.
Oh, excuse me.
Jeez.
Bless you. Sorry.
Yeah. I feel that's kind of a normal experience for people to have who aren't, fully aware of the ribbon challenge. I think ribbons do still stick out as something to kind of be interested in playing through a game. I remember myself, my Infernape from Platinum. It's not a full ribbon master because I was never good enough for all like the battle tower stuff, but it does have its own assortment of various like random contest ribbons, gorgeous royals, champion ribbons, all that stuff.
Mm.
So I think it is still quite respectable having an old original Pokemon with, like a dozen ribbons on it.
Giving us a very strong 74 from Dynamo. Dynamo, thank you for sharing the story of your Ariados. Thank you for sharing the story of your Munchlax from the Pokewalker. I think that just having old Pokewalker Pokemon is really cool. Maybe if we do another one of these, I'll add a game of origin as just being the Pokewalker, just so that I can more easily be like, dude, Pokewalker Pokemon, that's cool, man. And so that if somebody submits a Pokewalker shiny, it can be like, Pokewalker shiny? That's not legal. Awesome. 74. Gonna highlight that in bright pink. Up next, I'm gonna let the last few players know that they're on deck for being judged. If you guys want to take it away here with the introduction.
All right, hang on. So this one is Argent Team Overview Classic and Fantastic, which has a okay, I can immediately see what this is. So we have Sparksqueak, the cherished and tiniest best bud Pikachu. We have Brute, the warden of leafy green gardens, Venusaur. We have Solizard, the lizard that's not a dragon, Charizard. We have Hydroids, the diving Hydra Blastoise. Gaspar, the haunting premier Gengar. And Dargon, the gentle giant of dreams, Dragonite. A very Kanto-centric team here.
Yes. Okay, this was the team where last night I was looking at. I was like, these are all Gen 1. It is a full Generation 1 team of Pokemon. Okay. Let me just let these guys know.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a shiny event Pikachu, which is, I think, Gen 4. They also did one for Let's Go Pikachu and EV.
Okay. Yeah, this Pikachu is this was the shiny Pichu from I think Heart Gold Soul Silver that let you get the
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The Pikachu
the
colored
spiky
Pichu.
Yeah. Yeah, they mention it here. They saw the advert on TV during the Sinnoh saga for the Pikachu colored Pichu.
And lastly, okay. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, this is like a very cool spread of Pokemon. Street passing the 3DS. Will you have Squeak on your 3DS with you all of high school? I also would keep my 3DS in my backpack in high school all the time.
Yeah, we've got a shiny Alpha Dragonite from Hyperspace in the Dream Ball. Very fitting.
Shiny Premier Ball Gengar from Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I think there was like a Gengar raid day, I believe.
Yeah. If it's a Premier Ball, I guess it would have been from a raid, most likely.
Oh, this is a really cool
Yeah.
story about the Pikachu colored Pichu. So they weren't able to get the event when it was originally available.
Yeah, I did skim
Um,
through a bit as well. They mentioned
yeah.
trading a like a hidden ability Regice for it.
So they also had like seen a an old Pokemon card of like a discolored looking Pichu.
Mm.
So they had like always wanted to try and find a Pokemon that matched up with that. So seeing the commercial for it kind of confirmed in their mind that it was real. And then they did an
Yeah.
online trade with the rest, another member of the community, to get the Pichu, which is really cool. And they carried that around with them. And then its most interesting memory was in a Galar, it says here. In the Dyna tree. He met the legendary bird Pokemon for the first time in the at the Dyna tree. Very cool. So there's a lot to review here, but this is a very, very detailed entry, and I think that all of these Pokemon definitely have some very, very strong personal connections. Okay, everybody was waiting for me. Sorry about that, guys.
All good.
Oh, I put 3 in the place. There we go. A extremely strong 77. I loved the pictures that you submitted, by the way, Argent. Just some very, very good Scarlet Violet era Switch photos. Blastoise defending his cave, Gengar in the lag tree thicket. Very good team. I hope you had a lot of fun running it this weekend. 77 would have been, like yesterday, one of our top scores. Today, people are asking if there was a lot of DQs. There was no DQs, actually. We didn't have to DQ anybody. We just more had to filter what we were able to review on stream. So I spent about 9 hours last night reading every single entry and then just filtering it down to the ones that definitely had like the best shot of hitting our top placements. Okay, last 4. Head over to sheet 2. Do you have sheet 2 there, Toast?
I might have to scroll up a bit for it. Or was it in the prep server?
Yeah, I'll put it in this chat here for you guys.
There we go.
Because I know that we were talking a bunch today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're going to start with 215. We have Rival Andrew.
Yep. So we got
perfect.
It's coarse and rough. We got Madara, the shiny Shadow Tyranitar, Lay, the shiny Garchomp, Amphitrite, the shiny Milotic, Shauna Evans, the Scovillain, Sinnis, the shocking masterpiece Sinistcha, and Terry, the champion Aerodactyl. So immediately we've got another of Evis's shiny Shadow Tyranitars, also hunted.
Second, I need to... Yeah, you guys keep reading. I just need to make this sheet editable by all of us.
They've also got the Met date as trainer ID. They found it on January 21st, 2024, and their trainer ID is 1/21/24. We've got a shiny Scovillain from Scarlet and Violet from Asado Desert. It's got the sandstorm mark. Very nice for a sand team such as this to have a sand swept Scovillain.
I was not expecting to see as many Ribbon Master Tyrannotars as we've
It's
seen.
a very popular choice, I think.
Yeah, because it's not only like the quote unquote final boss shadow Pokemon, but also you can reset for it without having to do the whole gauntlet.
Yeah, I was
Because
talking
if you
to,
lose
it's
to
one of the
Ebbet-
faster ones if you like set it up
Yeah.
properly.
It's Metagross is the one that's the real challenge to do like fully legit.
This is like the second Black Tower Garchomp that we've seen.
Yeah, that too.
Yep.
Interestingly, we haven't seen the Dratini equivalent to that, because I feel like that could have been a usable Mega Dragonite.
And I think it's really cool that this Milotic is a Pokemon that's kind of been traded back and forth between our entrant and their fiance. That's really cool.
Yep. Lure Ball as well in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Very, very limited resource there.
Got
This special note for Milotic. Unlike her ancestors, she doesn't even know what Pokeblocks taste like.
That's true.
Yeah.
Got a
Ooh, and we got
full
a
odd
shiny
shiny
Aerodactyl.
Aerodactyl.
Yeah.
Soft reset Aerodactyl.
Yeah.
And then Thunderstruck Sinistra. We were talking yesterday about how it's like 1 or 2%, depending on where you are, 2% in Kitakami, to have a thunderstorm for 3 to 5 minutes, and in that narrow band of time, you have to get the 10%.
Let me see. I'm going to check the names here. Madara, Sienna Evans. I had chosen Scrivenin for my team before even realizing how perfect the Sandstorm mark is for the team. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give vibe points just off of the fact that somehow they ended up with the correct mark for their team. 85 is super strong. Super strong score going into this. These like last few entrants. So Andrew 85. It's blue. Andrew, congratulations. We have Andrew, it looks like, here in chat. Did we have any questions for him or any remarks of congratulations on their team or anything before we move on to the next one?
Just congratulations, I guess. It's a very solid team.
Very solid team. Up next, we have Quick Panic, a member of the Pokemon shiny hunting community that I'm sure many of us are familiar with. And as such, we do have a full team of 6 shiny Pokemon.
Naturally. Yes, we have a nostalgia meets modern is the tagline for this one. We have Flubber the Sinastra, Reactan the Tyranitar, another shiny Tyranitar, seeing a very common here. Thomas the Rotom, wash form, Diggerpaws the Excadrill, Gearfriend the Corviknight, and Komori the Hydreigon.
I like Diggerpaws. I don't know why. Diggerpaws just, it stuck with me for some reason. I like this username or this nickname. And Thomas for Rotom Wash.
Yeah, it's from the
does more.
That Gen 5 Poke Rap. Excadrill has, or Drillbur has Diggerpaws.
They do mention that in the special notes.
Oh,
I can't say I'm familiar with that too.
Nickname inspired by Drillbur line, "Can't stop catching them all." One of the greatest tunes of all time. Yeah, so we have some Pokemon that were shiny hunted. Shiny hunted kind of last minute for some regionals. But I think one of the big ones here is the Platinum Tyranitar, who has a few ribbons that it's collected. Just a Pokemon that kind of commemorates a Pokemon team from 2011, or the start of their VGC career in 2011. And Quick Panic is somebody who has been to, I've bumped into them at more regionals than I have not. I think I've seen Quick at more events than events that I have not seen Quick at. So they do compete in VGC quite a bit, and I think they actually did quite well for themselves in the limitless standings for the
Yeah.
event as well.
I believe they're usually the one running the as it now has to be known, the Retro Shiny Challenge at the various American regionals and worlds, along with Nora.
Right.
Mhm.
This is a
So it's very very prominent shiny hunter in the community.
this is actually a swarm Larvitar then, because Platinum, it's like Diamond has Larvitar, and Pearl has Stantler on the route north of Orberg. But then in Platinum, they moved Larvitar to a swarm in it's like under Cycling Road. So
a little
and
note here from Quick. He posted on Twitter. At first, I just wanted to get a couple cool ribbons for my Tyranitar to use in Champions, but now I think I'm addicted. I totally get Ribbon Master challenges now. What an awesome way to celebrate your favorite partners. And
Yeah,
I think
I
that
saw his
is
Blue
like,
Sky equivalent post on that.
yeah, I think that's something that a lot of Ribbon Masters end up really kind of falling in love with there, is just that it is exactly like you said, a great way to honor one of your favorite Pokemon in the game.
yeah, and we've got
We'll have to give him some pointers.
a Rotom, a fastball Rotom that managed to win some championship points at Charlotte Regionals.
He was the only person to win championship points with Rotom at Charlotte in 2023, which was very cool.
I'm liking the Yu-Gi-Oh names on the Gearfried and Kumori.
Andrew says he has 14 total Coliseum Urban Masters. That's a lot. I'm gonna finish my Ribbon Master, guys. I'm gonna earn my title as a moderator of the Pokemon Ribbons community. I'm not only the first, but also the second Ribbon Master judge or moderator that doesn't have a Ribbon Master. Anyways, pretty even scoring across the board here. Well done, boys. 85. Very, very strong showing from Quick Panic. Tyranitar is probably going to be, if we went back and calculated which Pokemon got the most points, is probably tied for Gardevoir and Tyranitar. Would you guys agree?
I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
think
they've definitely been some of the more prominent ones.
Yeah, we got 2 left. We have Starstorm 295.
All right.
I'll load up the pictures if we can get an intro.
Yeah. Toast, do you want to handle this one?
Yeah. So we've got the Royals of My Adventures. We've got Princess Bonnie of the Cerulean Court, Lopunny, son of Bokrug, the great battle frontier lizard Garchomp, Wisp, the Lich King of Hisui, Typhlosion, Sir Gary, the Prince of Rage, Gyarados, Maiden Gumi, the Sinistcha, and Melvin the Misnamed, Farigiraf.
Cool. I think we also are seeing this Lopunny in a Love Ball, a very, very popular ball choice for Lopunny, but even more impressive as it is all the way back from Heart Gold Soul Silver. So this is a proper Kurt ball.
Yeah,
Lopunny.
but then Lopunny is like a Sinnoh Sound Hunt, isn't it?
That probably
I think that would have to be
sense.
right. Yeah, and you can't trade the balls to Gen 4 anyway, so the amount that you can get from those balls is kind of limited by the selection that's in Heart Gold Soul Silver.
Mm-hmm. And it looks as though this is also Pokemon with quite a few ribbons. So the Cuteness and Beauty ribbons, Day of the Week ribbons, Sinnoh Champion, Rank Master, and Treasured Memory ribbons. It currently has Bonnie the Gorgeous Royal, a top selection ribbon. It would be interesting to go back and see like what was the most used ribbon, what was the most used Pokemon, but probably won't have time to do that sort of analysis right now. We could count.
We've got their starter Typhlosion from Legends Arceus, which was helpful during a difficult period in their life, according to the journey.
Oh, but also just the best starter in Legends Arceus. The Ghost type kills all of the AI battles. They just don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, very nice.
Very cool. Very cool team. I like the pictures of Lopunny. I think Lopunny was also a fan favorite. Scrappy Lopunny kicks my butt in so many events or so many ranked battles. And then yeah, that's a very, very special note here on the Typhlosion. Just traveling with them kept them smiling in a difficult part of their life. And I think I haven't actually ever like really even talked that much on stream about why I got so deep into collecting Pokemon, but it was when I was in high school. You know, my parents were going through a rough divorce. I just wanted a little bit of like a distraction from everything that was so stressful at the time, and getting into collecting rare Pokemon was part of that for me. So I think that collecting Pokemon is something that we see a lot of people leaning on.
Yeah,
for,
I think a lot of people can relate to that, as we've seen in some of these submissions.
for sure.
Yeah, I'll give that.
Leaving us with a strong showing of 74. 74 definitely is way up there. Andrew says, for collecting, what makes collecting rare Pokemon special is that they stay with you forever. No matter how many dramatic things in our lives change, we always have our Pokemon from a special moment in time. Exactly. And we have one more submission to end off everything today. Potentially one of those submissions that could exemplify exactly what everybody means by this. Let's take a look at Jordoo. I'm going to load up these pictures if you guys can get us an intro.
All right, so for the final team that we're looking at today, we have Unlikely Friends going for glory. We have Delphox, the Stunning Witch, Primarina, the Supportive Speaker, Garchomp, the Old Weightlifter, Weavile, the Shadow Survivor, Farigiraf, the Strutting Giraffe, and Aerodactyl, the Fraud Historian. Very nice display of shinies there.
Aerodactyl has historic genius. What ribbon is that? That's a
That is
really
a
cool ribbon
smart
for fossils.
or a cleverness master ribbon.
That's
Yeah,
such a cool ribbon for a fossil Pokemon.
so that would be from Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, since this one was punted in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
Cool.
Apparently hatched within 10 eggs. It's very nice.
Somebody corrected you here, Toast. They said that Lopunny is a swarm, not a Sinnoh sound.
I see.
Ooh.
So
There's one of those Sinnoh sounds that's like not a Sinnoh Pokemon. I think it's Metatite.
Metatite does spawn all over Sinnoh, though.
That is true.
Yeah. It does feel like a Gen 4 Pokemon sometimes.
It was my first shiny, and I caught it in Gen 4. Therefore, it's a Gen 4 Pokemon. Delphox is a really cool first starter shiny.
Yeah, we've got a random lure ball shiny Farigiraf from Heart Gold Soul Silver.
Yeah. Primarina also shiny hunted as a starter in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. So I think that's one of the more difficult starter ones.
Shiny hunted naturally from the starter. That's one of like the worst starter shiny hunts in the entire franchise.
I can't remember if is Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon is faster than Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon, I think, is the slower one.
Yeah, but they're still both pretty lengthy, I think.
Full on no boosts.
It's just that one of them is a lot worse than the other.
We've got
still a very respectable hunt.
We've got a Premier Ball shiny X and Y Delphox, which to do that you need to get a Breitton from the Friend Safari to pass down the Pokeball.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting that was one of the only real generations where they make the starters hatchable in the same generation. Yeah. Like off the top of my head, I can't really think of any others that really did that. Like even now.
Yeah, Scarlet and Violet, it had a time limited with the Mightiest Mark raise, but then
Mightiest
raise,
that's like the only way that we've been able to get so far.
Yeah,
like if you don't count, the limited selection in Pokemon Go.
Farigiraf's really cool. Randomly appeared, so they put it in a lure ball. And then the big one here, we have a Shadow Shiny Weavile. That was RNG manipulated, but still very cool.
Yeah, RNG'd and Earth Ribboned. And yeah, even at the fastest, the Earth Ribbon still reflects like a 3-hour time commitment of just
like 3 to 4 hours is like
Depending on
the
what your
average
team
for
is, like maybe if you have 6 Kyogres, it's a little bit faster. But
Yeah, it's
I
like
mean,
you're
you only
fighting
really
with.
need 2 of them.
if you're doing with
Yeah.
like a playthrough team, it can be a lot slower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The first time
Like
I
most
earned it,
optimized, I've done it in like 3 hours, but standards, like first time I did it was like maybe 4 or so.
I think the first time I did it with Shadow Lugia and Dragonite. And my teams were definitely not optimal because I was just running like Psycho Boost Earthquake. Psycho Boost Earthquake. It's quite the ribbon to obtain. But very cool team. I like the ball choices.
yeah. I've been theory crafting what's like the fastest mount battle team, because like if you do 2 Kyogres, you have to watch the rain between every single
Every
turn.
turn. Yeah.
And so like I think somebody put forth like Clamperl Omastar, because like Clamperl with a deep sea tooth actually gets to some ridiculous special attack.
1 second, guys, hang on.
It's an important business call to take. Okay. Another very strong showing, 72. Out of
2
a
Latios with Soldew Surf. I mean, can Latios hit Shedinja though? I guess it gets Shadow Ball. But yeah, 72. Pretty even scores.
very
here
strong
on,
showing from everybody for sure. Yeah, well, I guess that puts us. We have now successfully reviewed all 243 submissions. Definitely more teams than we were expecting. As of yesterday, or not yesterday, because that yesterday is started.
Yeah, the day before the tournament, we had about 60 submissions, and then
Mhm.
overnight it jumped to like 200.
So yeah,
So
like
we very much got
Thursday,
swamped at the last minute there.
Thursday morning when we were trying to look at everything and theory craft it, it was like we had about 40 submissions. You know, it had been at that point about 5 days since the announcement had been made for the forum. So I was thinking
Yeah.
like, you know what, maybe this will double. And over the span of 2
Yeah.
days, we would have been able to get through 80 individually. 240
absolutely.
was a lot. I went through yesterday and I tried to ping people if I saw cute Pokemon and things on their team. I hope that everybody does know. I went through and I read every single submission last night. I was up until about 2:30 in the morning doing it, after also doing like the 7.5 or whatever hour stream with these guys yesterday. So all of your stories were heard. None of them fell on deaf ears. I really appreciate everybody and trusting their Pokemon's stories and journeys with us. It's been really cool reading that. I think the next
Yeah,
step
this has been really fun.
is we're going to compile kind of the top teams, and we're going to confer with Scraw about how we're going to present those on the main stream. So without further ado, let's send everybody back over to the main stream. If you want to see the announcement for the finalists of the do we know when those are going to be announced? No idea. If you're watching the stream, you'll know. You'll see it. I can't give any promises. I'm going to grab that link. You guys got anything else to say before we head off? Maybe if you want to drop your links in the chat for everybody to go and follow. I'm streaming on YouTube too. If you guys want to drop, I know you're more commonly on the YouTubes.
Yeah, great showing. A little disappointed to not see any shiny Shadow Scizor, but you know, can't win them all.
Yeah, same here, I'd say. I was pull up the rack stream.
So who's on? Yeah, we got some amazing casters casting the stream over on the Scraw side of everything. So make sure that you go and check out the official Scraw VGC Champions Festival coverage. Follow Canned Wolf Meat on YouTube and Sir Toasty Toes on YouTube as well. And we will see everybody for the announcement of our finalists in the Grand Champions Festival stream.
Yeah. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted a team for this. Again, we're sorry that we couldn't go in full depth of every single one of them, but we have definitely looked over like so many of these, and all of them were so good. Even if you didn't score in like the top 10, we've had so much fun looking at all these teams. So thank you very much. This has been a real pleasure to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it now. I'm gonna take all of the pictures that were submitted to the Google Drive. I'm gonna try to put a collage together of some of my favorite photos. So if you submitted a picture, I'm gonna try to make a very big Photoshop document of everybody's Pokemon submissions, or as many as I can fit in. So even if you didn't get to see yourself on stream, I'm going to try to immortalize your submission in some way or another as being part of this absolutely fantastic event on both our side here on the Best Dressed and on the VGC side. So thank you.